Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Welcome to TraderTV.Live. North American stock futures pointing to a mixed open coming up this morning after all three major U.S. indexes. Yeah, we ended the week down last week, the first negative showing for all three major U.S. indexes on a weekly basis in a month or so. With the down, the S&P off about 0.5%, 0.8% respectively for the week last week. The NASDAQ down about 0.8% as well, was also relatively strong heading into the weekend on Friday. Continued optimism surrounding vaccine rollout and economies reopen. They'll remain the underlying catalyst for the overall market as we head into a new trading week this week. We'll get some housing data coming up at 10 a.m. Another kind of backwards way of looking at the overall strength of the economy. They are expecting a bit of a drawdown, though, or a decline, I should say, 2.8% to the downside for existing home sales. We'll get that at 10 o'clock. Individually this morning, those reopening type stocks also a little bit negative. We'll talk about AMC. We'll talk about the cruise operators as well, back to the downside after a strong week last week. It's Monday, March 22nd, 2021. TraderTV.Live starts now. And there's a look at North American markets. Yeah, futures kind of mixed right now. We have the Dow lower 0.8%, NASDAQ's higher 0.4%, S&P basically flat to start this morning. TSX here in Toronto, futures pointing to a flat open as well. Brazil's up to start, already trading about 0.5%. Bitcoin, yeah, relatively unchanged. We are trying to get back to the upside, holding above some key levels. We'll talk about Bitcoin coming up here. Look at crude oil. Yeah, energy markets bouncing back. Negative week last week, 2.5% already to the upside. Gold also higher to start the new week as well. It is Monday. Good morning, guys. We have energy markets showing some strength. Those crypto stocks showing some strength. It's going to be an interesting week. You know, we had lots of individual catalysts to discuss last week as far as the overall market was concerned. A little bit of a different or a shift going into this week, though.
Yeah, a little bit, let's say. And as always, excited to be back on a Monday, of course. It was actually fantastic weather this weekend, but good to be back at it with the markets moving a little bit here. And certainly all smiles if you're in the crypto space. And some of the tech names somewhat rebounding. It does feel like that yin and the yang is still going to be there, right? As you get a bit of easing off a treasury, you'll get the NASDAQ creeping back up, and then some of the recovery names head back to the downside. I was also noting the EVs. Some of the gains from the EVs last week look like they're going to be holding up a little bit so far. But I mean, the quest here is, at some point, like, can you get that real breakthrough in either one of these? Whether it's going to be the recovery names making that secondary push, a lot of those are trading around their highs, or whether some of the tech names are going to get back to those highs, or the NASDAQ in general. So that still has to play out. We still have that yin and yang going on, and mostly I feel like your reopen names like your CCLs and your airlines, your banks, some of the movers today for sure. So we're going to be back at those.
Yeah, welcome. Good recap there, and good morning, and welcome back to Trader TV Live for yet again another week. It should be a big week. I mean, we talked about that. There's more earnings coming. And I want to talk about one earnings play that's coming up very, very soon. Everybody's favorite meme stock, GameStop, reporting this week as well. I think it's tomorrow or tomorrow night, something like that. We'll figure out what day it is exactly, but we're going to be watching some GameStop, some AMC, a bunch of different names coming at you, the bank stocks, like Neil mentioned. Hopefully a little bit of a NASDAQ rebound, as the NASDAQ up 0.71 here today as well. So yeah, look, it's going to be exciting. There's a bunch of different names to play. We've got our sheets ready to rock and roll. Valeria's all in black, so I hope it's not a Black Monday. And we'll see what happens today. It looks like it should be a positive day in the markets.
It is trying to be a positive day in markets anyways. Yeah, speaking of Miss V, let's get over to the desk and say good morning to her.
Good morning, Brendan. And hey guys, I hope you all had a great weekend, and I wish you a great and productive start of this week. Please make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Let's get it started, Brendan.
Let's indeed get it started, guys. We'll kick things off with a look at how traders here at Day Trade the World fared back on Friday, big index change happened at the end of the day on Friday. Lots of opportunities, lots of volatility going into the close. Yeah, nice five-figure numbers here. Number one there, big variety, I guess I should say, of markets here. 90,000 number one. NASDAQ alone producing 32,000 there at number two. Five figures all the way down through the top seven. We can have a look at the bottom end of the list as well. Some European markets in there as well. So still lots of opportunity in this market, lots of volatility as well. Why don't we kick things off, guys, with a little recap of that index change that happened back on Friday. We were talking throughout the show. If you joined us on Friday about the rebalance that happened, we saw lots of opportunity, lots of volatility, as I mentioned, heading into the close. But I was really only, the last kind of 15, 20 minutes of the day that you get those opportunities, but definitely positive anyways.
I mean, I can start quickly because I have a good example here. JP Morgan. So at 350, so get your education hats on right now. We'll do a little bit of education here for you guys. At 350, I mean, who else is going to do this? Honestly, like, show me another show that can do it, and you'll get 1 month free. TraderTV.Live. Okay, it's free already, so that's the fun part about it. 151, so this is what happens. Look at JP Morgan just cruising for a bruising all the way down as the NASDAQ goes up. We talked about some of these values versus growth names, and then you see JP Morgan all the way down, all the way down. And then remember what we said would happen at the end of the day. This is a 1 minute chart. So right at 350, the NYSE, what we call market on close imbalances. So it's the exact same thing as this, except for the market, these are market on open orders. You're gonna have market on close orders. And guess what? I should have took a picture of it to show you, and it's my bad, but you had JP Morgan, 11 million, Coke, 12 or 13 million. There was a bunch of different names on here in the NYSE, let alone the NASDAQ. I think NASDAQ had, Apple had 1 million or so on it. I was distracted with this and others, right? So JP Morgan here, Neil, we all saw this, 11 million. We had some traders here make some money. It comes out 11 million to buy. Well, guess what that does to the stock, when it's only doing 11 million shares on the day, or maybe even less than that. You get this instant shoot up. And so it came out 11 million to buy. That was at 151.50, let's call it that. All right. Within 6 minutes, you were at 154.63. And it's not like you needed this, like there's algos in here. So let me just zoom in a little bit here. There's algos in here that bring this stock all the way up. We could talk to Mark Roberts about this as well. But the market on close imbalance comes out and bang, it shoots up. So I'm going to say you probably miss the majority of this move, but then you get a little settle down spot, and then at 5 minutes to go, as the imbalance stays there, bang to the upside again, 154 and change. And there's a bunch of names like that. I mean, I just mentioned Coke. Let's see what Coke did. Yeah, same, so very, very similar. Coke comes out $50, boom. I mean, it's not a big stock. It's only up to, but still, to move Coke, $1 there was a pretty big move. And that's what it was. There was a bunch of different opportunities. You saw NXPI was another one. I don't know if I'm missing something, Neil. Of course, there was opportunities in Toronto. And I think pretty much every market on quad witching. I think there was even Europe too on Friday.
Yeah, I mean, just about everything. And you mentioned NXPI here, and that was a massive imbalance as well. And you can just see on the chart when 350 hits, you have wild price action. This was about $5 up and down, but I can show you, something like you just randomly pick AMC, right? And I actually don't even remember what the imbalances were on AMC, but basically doing nothing for the most part in the afternoon. And then 350 hits, you get a spike into the high of day at 1410. And then a heavy reversal in the close. It hits as low as like that 1370 before making another push down in the aftermarket. So it's one of those things where traders anticipate that volume. It doesn't always mean volatility. Certainly there was a lot of it last Friday, and if you can take advantage of it if you have a plan of action going through, it doesn't always tend to give you any predictions as to what the price action is going to be in the following week. I mean, yes, sure, since the bounce came through, AMC did sell, and now you're gapping down. I don't know that it matters too much in terms of predicting what will happen the next session. Oftentimes, there's very, very extreme moves, however. There could be that chance that if something got oversold, that might have been a down weight, you can pick it up, or maybe vice versa if it was a large up weight. But nothing really stuck out to me in that regard. But you don't read too much into the price action in terms of being a predictor.
Yeah, unless we see a move that's bigger than expected, kind of in one direction. I think AMC was actually a buy, if I remember correctly, quite a large buy as well, and sold off into that. Let's bring in Mark Roberts here, president of Sun Lake Strategies, and we'll have a chat with him about a Monday morning. Good morning, Mark. It's another week. Going to be an exciting one. It feels like there's, I was saying it feels like a bit of a shift has happened. We had a whole bunch of individual catalysts last week, but things a little bit different this week. I mean, positive news regarding the AstraZeneca vaccine, more positivity in general as far as vaccines are concerned. And there's even lots of M&A activity to discuss today.
Yeah, I think the M&A continues, especially as rates start to show the fact that they could rise or should rise on a stronger economy. I think you'll see a lot of financial companies coming in. SPACs, don't forget, the few hundred that there are have to start using that capital. So I think there'll be a fight to take over companies, especially as rates start to rise and maybe margins start to contract.
Overall, for the the general market, we are positive here ever so slightly. What are you looking at as far as maybe something that's happening further out during the week as a positive catalyst or any kind of reason for the market to continue to the upside this week?
I think the optimism is strong. I think we're getting closer and closer, even though it's weeks and weeks away, to people starting to talk about herd immunity. The virus, other than the areas like Florida or Georgia that have been open for some time, are starting to reopen, even slowly, but reopen. The sentiment is much better. The weather's getting warmer. Yes, there's fears of spikes, but I think on balance, the market has a much better tone.
I sat on a patio this weekend, Mark. It was glorious. It was sunny in Toronto. It was warm. Yeah, it's been a long time, and as you said, reopening. We're able to dine outside in Toronto once again. So it's definitely lifted spirits for sure. As far as individual names, is there anything standing out as far as exciting for you today?
I'm looking back into my list of stocks that will benefit. Yes, there's 30% or so of that $1,400 stimulus check that will go into the market. Yes, there's also an issue of pension funds looking to sell stocks and get into bonds at appropriate times. But I'm looking at where the rest of that money goes, whether it's DG, DLTR, Walmart, Target, those kind of names that would benefit. I'm staying a little further away from the airlines and the cruise lines because they had their runs already. But I'm looking to see where that $1,400 can get spent.
Yeah, it's interesting to see a Tesla higher this morning. It's interesting to see a NIO higher this morning. There hasn't been a giant shift as far as positivity coming back into growth stocks. We're still seeing the 10-year kind of around where it was at the end of last week. What are your thoughts as far as that's a cycle, I guess, what we saw over to more cyclical type stocks versus the growth names?
Oh, I think you're going to see huge volatility into the end of the month. Also, it's the end of the quarter, pension fund rebalancing. So today will be growth, tomorrow will be value, et cetera, through the end of the week. It's going to be a tough time for those that aren't firmly embedded in keeping their stops close to heart.
How's it going, Mr. Stockfather himself? Welcome back, of course. Glad to have you through. And I want to remind everybody, because we do have our Q&A after the show today, live for all of our members. And Mark Roberts, the Stockfather himself, will be joining and coming through. You mentioned a name here. I heard you say you talked about the stimulus checks. You talked a little bit about Walmart. And the last time I think we had this discussion, don't get me wrong, I bought Walmart in a dip here in the 130s, and we're talking about this in relationship to Target. Maybe I missed her, but I don't think you mentioned a target there. Is this simply just an appeal to where Walmart might be trading here with this sort of I want to say like it's a somewhat sharp pullback. I mean, it's upwards of like 13-14% from the top, I think, something along those lines. So is it more of that appeal that you're getting a good price here, or is it just very, very simple? That's one of the first places people will go to spend that cash.
I think that's where people will go spend that cash. The problem with Walmart, and I bought it too, for disclosure, it's a kind of thing where Walmart in the same breath, you have to hear the word Amazon because they are playing back and forth against each other, and it's a less so story with a Target or a Costco. So I like Walmart. I think they're in the game, but Target and Costco tend to be not mentioned in the same breath as Amazon.
So, and maybe that brings us to something else. I mean, because if you think about I guess growth, and one of the ways to measure growth in retail is, okay, well, who's opening up locations, right? So whether it's Amazon, obviously because they're getting in the grocery space and they have some competition there as well, but they're continuing their opening, taking over every closed Toys R Us you can find. Dick's Sporting Goods is another name, and this is sort of the contrast here, because as you mentioned that sort of theme and where the stimulus checks will come in and people are getting up and about. I mean, I don't know. I'm an outdoorsy kind of guy. I spent all weekend outdoors myself, at least as much as I could. Sometimes people sort of shy away from buying things at the top here. And I know the last time you mentioned Dick's, you could have probably had at least like a 5 or 6% return from the last time you mentioned it. But you're now through it. You're now through this 80 price. And is this just one of those, hey, this is a break? You've got a strong name that should, as long as the economy is looking well, which it should be, and the recovery is in full force. Dick's Sporting Goods is just a simple name that's going to continue in this ride, and it's not always about necessarily buying the dips, even though us conservative people might favor that a little bit. But give me your thoughts here on something basically on its highs.
Well, this happens to be a well-run company. It's the kind of thing where I tend to be a little bit conservative. But if this stock has legs, this has a nice run in here, probably all the way out to, I'm going to guess, somewhere near that 90, 95 area. So the answer is I can't be, what's the phrase, too conservative because I'll miss an opportunity. So I buy a half position if this is the name that I want to be in, and I wait for some pullback. And that's the scenario. They don't have the same headwinds that a Walmart did on either earnings or competition. So this is a different category, like Burlington Coat BURL or some of the others. They're having a struggle because of port congestion, and you have to read carefully to see who is not suffering from the port congestion to get product in the country.
Oh, just along those lines, because I've read something interesting. There's obviously we talked about maybe some of the issues with shipping and backlogs, but there's also with the vaccines rolling out, there's going to be, I guess, stipulations that if you want to come into port, everyone on the ship has to be vaccinated or whatnot. And given the nature of that industry, where it's very multinational, you might have people from 30 different countries, and some of those countries might not have access to vaccines, so you could have holdups in that regard. And that's a new challenge, right? Like that's not something like the backlogs that we have now in shipping has nothing to do with those concerns. So this is a bit of a new challenge and might extend some of these backlogs, and then you start thinking about some of these names which have been hurt by the ability to deliver and some of these issues. Could those extend further because of this new challenge?
The answer is yes, and there's a handful. I think Gap is one, Kohl's maybe another, where they've figured out a different supply route to get product in. Now, the next problem is going to be inflation, because your raw materials have climbed, and now if your transportation has to climb, does that get pushed onto the consumer? I still think you're going to have a nasty inflation situation sometime late in the second half. That should be a whole different story we talk about.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, Kohl's here, just a very similar look to what you would have seen with Dick's Sporting Goods, right? So the companies that have met that challenge probably a little bit poised, or better poised, I should say, if there are future challenges, which it does seem like it's the case. And I don't know, don't get me started, because if we start saying inflation and then everyone that mentions transitory as if that's some kind of a thing that exists, because anybody ever raises cost and passes it on to the consumer, and then when things ease off, I'll drop prices back down when everyone's used to paying it. That's transitory, and that makes absolutely no sense to me. Anyways, Mark, I'm glad you're through here today, because I feel like there's going to be a lot of questions as this yin and yang is going back and forth. One day NASDAQ up a little bit, and the next day it's the Dow leading the way. I feel we'll get a lot of questions in that Q&A, sort of what people should be doing in this interim, where it does feel like you have this weird stalemate going off near some of these all-time highs. But best of luck in trading today. I can't wait to have you back for that Q&A, and we will see you a little bit later.
Super. Thank you very much. See you later.
Thanks, Mark.
Great stuff. Yeah, join us, guys, 11:35, right after the show. For members, Q&A, you have to sign up for $4.99 a month. It's less than a coffee here in Toronto anyways. You get 45 minutes of us. You can ask us whatever you would like. Let's have a look at upgrades and downgrades for today. A few on here that we saw last week. Dollar General had earnings last week with an upgrade today. There's Kansas City Southern. We mentioned the big deal as far as M&A activity today, 275. It's funny. They put the deal price as the price target from JP Morgan there. Nothing terribly exciting. I mean, Pinterest, Snapchat over here on the downgrade side today, guys.
Boo. I think you downgrade those two. Just speaking of the deal, because we might as well, CP, big time move, of course, in the railroad industry. And of course, it has to pass some regulatory approvals here. I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's like $90 in cash and 0.489 shares of CP there that the Kansas City Southern shareholders are going to get. So that's that 275 price target. That 275 number should be relating to the close on Friday's close price of CP. So you're very, very unlikely to see crazy price swings. I know when people see these stocks, oh yeah, it's up 16%. Oh, maybe it's be like a gapper and a runner. Not necessarily. I mean, a lot of times, if you're looking for a place to get into the acquirer, like if you want to pick up a railroad, it's probably a good day or two, early on in the week to maybe buy at a depressed price. But I'm not expecting a ton of volatility, particularly in this name. All that said, if you believe in the recovery, if you believe in the better efficiency, I shouldn't say a fuel efficiency of the railroads here as a bit of a undercover, I guess, environmental sustainable play, I suppose, that keeps trucks off the road, then you might be looking to buy on some dips here. And I'm sort of looking if it falls enough and gives you like a 250, 252, and as long as there's absolutely nothing crazy going on with CP over in Canada and the TSX, then you can look for those types of dip buy opportunities, maybe if it gets overextended to the upside. But if you're trading in a buyout like this, a cash in stock, you do have to watch both at the same time. Otherwise, you could get run over by the ARB and the algos.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny you mentioned that upgrade with Kansas City Southern there, and then it gets upgraded on the day that the deal's done. Like, you can't upgrade it too much if the deal's done. I mean, it's done, so it's going to be off the market there. Neil just recap that. I'm excited about a few different names here today, and they're on the watch list, so we'll get to those in a minute. But I mean, DraftKings, it looks like it's going to break. It's breaking out as we speak. Come on, let's go, charty charts. 1 minute chart. Oh, shout out to Leo. I shouted you out there on the chat. You wanted a shout out. You got it there, big man. So there it is, Leo. My mic, yeah, it's working, right? A shout out to you guys. 73 and change. I just want to look at that. 73.50 here for DraftKings, breaking out today. A couple upgrades there as well for DraftKings, and March Madness coming through. It seems like everything's successful. They only had one game, I guess, the Oregon game, I guess, that was canceled. I think it was VCU in Oregon with COVID. So everything's been going well for that. You see a nice little move up here on DraftKings. And then on the daily chart I got to get the daily chart up here. Let's find it. The daily chart on DraftKings, this is what I'm talking about. You're right at that 74 level, looking to break out. So for me, there's a trade in DraftKings today. The posted note is tick today. So you get another one here on Ford. I still like Ford. Ford's been a tricky name because it keeps on wanting to go through 13, and then there's some news like you talked about with Mark Roberts there, Neil, the back and forth with value and growth. I think Ford's kind of actually stuck right in the middle because it doesn't know what it wants to be. Is it going to be this value stock that we all know it to be? Is it going to be growth with the EV space? So you do get Ford here bumping up, and here's the chart that we're looking at right now. 13 should be coming into play again as well. And someone said they'll hit the like button if I show the imbalance locator. So let's get that like button going. BAC here on the sell side, no surprise with banks today. Palantir, we'll talk about that. Finally get to legs going, I believe, anyways, in Palantir, up 1.5 today. Hopefully that sell is over there. And then nothing else really, guys. It's kind of a calm down day here on a Monday. Someone said, what happened to RLX? We'll have a look at that in a minute as well. RLX today down that 32% and making moves. But you know what? Some of these stocks just, you got to stay out of the way. If you're holding them for a longer term, you have to be aware that this is going to happen to stocks like this. Let me check out the daily chart here. 31, coming in. This is RLX Technologies off an IPO, making moves to the downside. So we'll find out more about RLX for you. But don't forget about our watch list, guys. Sign up. It's free on a website. You just got to go there, put in your information, and you get that every single day.
Yeah, so RLX is a vaping company. They make those vape pens. Apparently China is one of... Yeah, China is one of their largest markets, so China is looking to put stiffer regulations on e-cigarettes and vaping in China, so that's why that is down so much. Speaking of the watch list, guys, let's have a look at where you can find it every single day before we come on at 8:30. Gets posted to that website, so make sure you take a second and register for the website. Any email, Facebook, whatever you like, will get you in. You just have to give us your email address, and then you'll have access to the website. A lot of people have been asking for a way to see the prior days and even older watch lists, so we are working on a solution for that as well. That's going to be starting very shortly, so you'll be able to see yesterday's, the day before, things like that. So let's jump into what's moving around in the pre-market. We'll start with the reopening type group. We mentioned there are a couple with Mark, the cruise lines to the downside today. Some of the airlines are negative on the session as well. And AMC, guys, want to start with AMC. Very strong last week. They came out and said they're going to have most of their theaters back open before the end of this month. But we are lower here. It was pretty negative on Friday as well.
Yeah, I mean, it is lower, but let's have the daily chart up here so you can kind of see, a bump off 7 into 10, hold at 7 into 12, and then we just made a turn. And you guys that were watching would have seen the action when we were trading off that 1450 top. So there were some good opportunities in terms of dip buying, but off that top, and if you didn't turn into a sell, there was just all kinds of resistance up there. So a little bit of a pullback after such a huge gain makes some sense. It's a very similar story. I mean, CCL was at 30 a couple of times trying to bust through, and you had some failed breakouts at 30. So you had some failed breakouts here in AMC at a 1450. So you got to anticipate there's going to be some pullbacks at times. There was all kinds of chop in and around this $13 area. It's just on my 15-minute chart here. And then you have this pre-market low, which is trying to hold. I do feel like if there's a test of the double bottom from last week, like 1230 or so, like that could be an interesting defense for me if you get a bit of a rollover, and that's probably the first level I'm likely to play. I mean, there's not going to be any breakout type moves for me on AMC down 4.5%. With sort of like the tech leading the way here. I think you're more looking for a buy on some dips here. And then you just sort of have to keep in mind the other end of the coin here. I know this is a reopen play, and don't always want to have to say it, but with GameStop coming through, I believe, is it tomorrow their earnings on Tuesday?
Yeah, Tuesday, yeah.
Yeah, so with GameStop earnings on Tuesday, it's not as if you can't have some movement, some follow through. Or I guess following the action in AMC here as well. So you do have to watch out for that if you're looking into it this week. But if we get anywhere near that like 1230 area on AMC, I think it's going to be a nice little day trade dip buy. And as always, when it comes to AMC, willing to let it trade through that bottom. Like you have to allow some stops to get broken if you're buying that kind of a dip, and then maybe it gets into like a 12. As long as it bounces there, you might look for entry around that 1230 range. So you can't. It's hard to get married to the exact price. Otherwise, you find yourself in trouble when it breaks by 5 or 10 cents or so, and then next thing you know, you've made bottom wick.
Guys, I just dropped it. I saw a lot of people asking for it. You asked for it. You want it. I see it on the chat. There's the sticky note here. I literally just tweeted this like 5 seconds ago. We already got 12 likes and 3 retweets. So I'll put it once again in the chat. There it is. Follow us. A whole bunch of names on here. I wrote down AMC. 13. You're going to see some Roblox there. I like Palantir. I love Ford through 13. We'll talk about DraftKings as well today, but there it is. You asked for it and I deliver. So there it is, the sheet that everybody wants is the Post-it note, and there it is given to you guys. Hopefully it works out. We'll see. Some levels may not get touched, and if you look at those are just areas of concern for me. Whether or not you go long or go short at those, you can make up your own mind. Most of you will know, if you've been watching for a while, what I do on those notes. So there it is. Okay, so AMC, the very, very same thing. I like 13 break. Let me just give it to you on a 20-minute chart so you can see it a little bit better. Here's a 13. Here's AMC. Yeah, so it's just right here. It's 13. I mean, it's pretty easy. We bounced off there a couple times. I think we're going to crash through it today. We had some catalysts, let's say it last week, with expectations. Neil talked about it early with it running near the close. People had expectations that maybe there would be a big buy imbalance running into witching, running into March 19th, and that really didn't happen. I mean, we do get a nice little bump up from 10 on Monday or Tuesday or the week before, all the way last week, cruising between 13 and 14, up to 1450. Neil's right. I mean, anything around here, 1250 is great. I just think if you want to get a little more aggressive, well, first of all, do we have to pay for shorts on this thing? Let me see.
Free today.
They're free? Woohoo! Yeah. Okay, we just tested it again. Throw out 100 shares there, test for free. But yeah, so I like a 13 break on AMC. To me, the game is done on AMC for now. Obviously, it's a reopening play. We've talked about that over and over again. I think it's probably valued quite fair right now. Wow, I saw whoever's in Miami Beach, what up? That looked like a big party there in Miami Beach, but there's a lot of places now reopening fully. So we'll see if AMC can't get it going. But for right now, look at this. Not doing anything all Friday afternoon. Literally nothing until some of those imbalances came out and we started getting going. You see the big print there, 48 million shares or something like that, or I don't know what that was, 48 million or 4.8. It must make sense if it was 48. But anyways, all the way to the downside there. Now we'll see if it can hold 13. My bet is it doesn't.
All right, guys, another little one just popping up here. DYAI just showed up on a volume scanner there, around $8. Big pop. This is COVID related. Looks like it's a little biotech. They're focusing on solutions to COVID variants. So new deal there for Diadic, shares surging 45%. COVID-19 vaccine partnership targeting variants. If you're wondering what that DYAI is, I should say. Let's bring in Arun here, and we'll have a look at the overall market and see what levels we need to be aware of on the futures this morning. We are back above 3,900 once again, Arun. We are looking a little more positive today.
We're in an area, we are positive to start the day, we're going in to start the day, but we're in an interesting spot here. We've got that 38.75 level, which was marked as support early on Friday, held out well, seems to be pre-market. Every time we checked underneath 38.90, it seems to find some support. So I'm going to say 38.90 to 38.75 is going to be support. Now, if we get into the 15s, though, 39.15, that's going to be an interesting spot because 39.15 going all the way up to 39.40 is going to be resistance. So for me, what I'm going to do is if we can get into the 15, start to slow down a little bit and find some sort of a short there, I think the short's a potential shot there. There's a lot there in front of the 20s, the 39.20 area. So big resistance above. There's some support below as well. Keep in mind at 9 o'clock, where I'm at right now, there should be a discussion with Chairman Powell as well, Fed Chairman Powell. So that might move the markets if there's something does come out that could potentially lead to future. People make projections based on single words that come out of his mouth. So if something does indicate something, then we might go in a direction. That's just always a risk anytime he opens his mouth. So that's just something to be aware of. That is happening now. So by 9:30, I think we should have all of the information we need to kind of work with on how this day is going to turn out. So 39.15 going up to 39.40 is resistance, 38.70, 38.90 going down to 38.75 is support. And we are sitting pretty much right in the middle there, waiting for something either to the upside or to the downside. But it's a matter of waiting at this point to see what we can work with.
Great stuff. Thanks so much, Arun. We'll check back in again tomorrow morning. We are under 30 minutes, guys, until the open of North American markets. Let's get to crypto stocks. Yeah, Bitcoin back above 56,000 this morning after it wasn't JP Morgan. It was Morgan Stanley came out and said they are going to start offering certain access to their high net worth clients to crypto stocks, guys. So Bitcoin back to the upside.
Yeah, I mean, I love talking Bitcoin. You guys know that, but it's not really moving. I mean, let's call it what it is right now. I mean, we're a little stuck here. Let me call up a daily chart here for crypto. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit here. We're stuck. I mean, we did hit that high about mid last week. We came in and it was like, wow, 61, 62,000 there, and that was the high. And right now, I mean, I don't think we're stuck. Crypto's going to move. Let's not get this twisted. But I actually thought that over the weekend with Asia trading, the day ahead of us and things like that we would have came in this week with, especially on that Morgan Stanley news, especially on what's happening now in Turkey, especially with monetary policy running rampant in the world. I guess that's already led to this, the monetary policy and what's happened with the US dollar and whatnot, but you're up to 60,000 right here. I still think it needs to break. I'm not overly bullish I'm bullish, obviously, but I'm not overly bullish until we can break that 60,000. It's going to trade, and it's going to trade fine. I think you can look at BTCC, Mara, we talked about that. And again, any of the blockchain names, I would flock to this. And I've just been talking about this over and over and over again. This is the Purpose ETF. It's as if they sponsor us. Yo, shout out to Purpose. If you want to sponsor, hit me up at TraderTV Sean, at TraderTV.Live, Sean, at TraderTV Sean, that's what it is. And check out my sticky note too. BTCC here, I like this name. It's the first ever ETF that actually follows crypto, and you can see crypto's up near its highs, so is this. It drops down, gives you good opportunities to buy it. I like BTC.B, and then for you in the US, it's .U. So this is the names that I would look at, as opposed to, and I know a lot of you guys are trading Riot and Mara and things like that. These are great names to get involved with. There's no doubt about that. It's just, they're tied to what Bitcoin does. If you want that, maybe MSTR, MicroStrategy, is a little bit better if you want to trade something that's exactly tied. But as you can see here, like this was at $85 back in February, and then we dripped down to $40, right? So that's not following the price of BTC. Obviously, there's share offerings involved, and there's different things. So for me, I would trade Grayscale, GBTC.PK. What up? You can sponsor us as well. ETHE.PK in the pink sheets as well would be the Ethereum product. Other than that, man, I don't know, Neil. Sometimes you look at SOS and different names, but for me, I like to just stick with sort of the ETF type names.
Yeah, I mean, I've looked at a Silvergate in the past, and SOS is worth looking for. I think the most important thing to remember with these other names, and Silvergate, the bank, of course, is that you're going to get outsized moves with relative to the actual spot price. And I would also keep in mind, as we sort of resist, if you want to even call it that 60,000. I suppose that's what's happening right now. There is that chance you get slight pullbacks, right? So maybe we test like a 54 or 55,000, and some of these other names, whether it's your Riot or your Maras or your Silvergate, your SOS, they're going to pull back a lot heavier than that. So if your overall trading strategy is to use these vehicles instead, you should probably be a little bit more patient with buying them on the dips. And I only pull up Silvergate as an example because it was always overextending anytime there was a big dump off here. So this got cut by more than in half. The last little run to the upside, it got cut by $100 bottom to top here. So just be a little bit careful when you're trading some of these names, whether it's your SOS or your SIs, especially on the dips, because if you're trying to buy a dip, a little bit easier to see the technicals and spot price as opposed to randomly where some of these will fall like an absolute rock. So just be a little bit careful when trading these other names. Always best to find something highly correlated if that's your game plan.
All right, let's go to vaccine world. We had all this concern coming out of Europe regarding the AstraZeneca vaccine for COVID-19 and the possibility that it causes blood clots. There was a study, or results from a study, the latest study in the U.S. showing 79% efficacy in preventing COVID-19 and 0%, any of the participants in the trial, 0% had blood clots. So positive for AZN here, guys. We're gapping up. It was 2% or above 2% there at one point, but coming back in a bit.
Yeah, I mean, the market's going to tell you how excited they are here with, in terms of the stock, at least I should say. You get 300,000 in pre-market volume, basically right onto last week's tops, and probably going to be range bound between like that 49 and 50. And when it comes to, just sort of keep in mind when it comes to the efficacies, and I know those numbers get thrown out there, for those that don't dive into it, all that matters when it comes to that percentage, your 79%, or with like your Moderna's like your 94, 95%, the environment under which they ran the study. So if you did it when there were caseloads were lower in the US, you get those 94, 95%. If you ran your study like J&J when it was a higher instance, or you did it outside the United States where there was some higher instances, like when they were doing it in Brazil, you'll get that lower percentage. It doesn't actually mean that one is better than the other. You have to sort of look at them in a vacuum. The ones that were done simultaneously, that's why. So AstraZeneca gets 79%. You can't really read too much into that relative to 94, 95. I'm not even sure the market cares about something as accurate as that. Now, overall, I don't know that you trade the stocks on these. To be perfectly honest with you, I mean, if you have a quick look at the daily chart, it has sort of leveled off, so there's some stability coming back into it after a bit of a downward trend and some of the negative news. But unless you're holding on for a long period of time here, and I would say the same thing about Pfizer, which I own, but it's not going to be a sexy name. It's not going to necessarily be a day trade. This wouldn't really fit into the rollover trade on positive news unless it had been making a gap, maybe a couple of dollars higher, and at that point, for sure, I'd be selling into it. Just don't see enough action here today, and we're not even getting a bump in some of the recovery names, which have already made their run because all of these vaccines have had some success so early.
So I was into AstraZeneca earlier, and then I got out at 54 when I realized that the vaccine was a money-losing business. So I didn't want to get into AstraZeneca. We were in early. I think we were in around here-ish. I basically made no money. 52, 53, I ran up to 58, 59. I thought we would have had something there on some of those reports. And when we came back down, it was right here, breaking this little 54 area where we got out. And thank God we did, because it did go down to 46. But I think now, especially with this study in the US, like you were mentioning there, Neil, I think it's a long now. It's on the sticky note. And if we, again, if I'm going to look at that, I need to talk about it. This doesn't really look like a Z, does it? But there it is, 50-50. So we can look at that level. I like that 50-50 level. It's where we sort of wicked out a couple times the last few days. It's also where the 50-period moving average is on the daily chart. So that's why we highlight that for you guys. I know you like that sheet there. Thank you again for all the retweets and all the likes that's going on the sticky note. But up to 50-50, also the day's high today. So it's not rocket science, but I do like the long here on AstraZeneca. It's a NASDAQ stock, which is strange, as you guys can see. I guess more of a tech biopharma there, but so it won't show up on here. But at 928, we'll do this. I like AstraZeneca through 50-50, and honestly, man, I think, and it just depends on what you think about the vaccines. If I'm not into any other positions, then I really do think get ready for this one. And look, I'm going to give you levels. I'm going to give you calls here, and there it is. I think you can use a decent amount of shares on a 50-50 break here of AstraZeneca. I think it could be one of the better trades. But remember, AstraZeneca doesn't move a whole hell of a lot. So if you do, like even right here, look on Monday, even if you take that very bottom, 49, it rips up to 49.20. And that's ripping up to 49.20. And then to move back down, it retraces back. This is the whole morning here, 30, 40 cents. So I don't know if 50-50 is going to come into play here. And again, I don't know if it's going to go to 51 or not, but I think you could definitely scalp that, as it looks like a breakout there at 50-50. So let's see what happens there, but I think it's definitely worth a look if you're lucky enough to get it, and if it goes up to 50-50 today.
All right, guys, brand new week. That means we have to remind you we are getting ever so close to 200,000 subscribers on YouTube. If you're joining us for the first time this morning, make sure you do take a second and hit the like button first. And then right after you're done that, go over and hit the subscribe button. We do this every single day that the market is open. So subscribe, guys. Help us get to that 200,000 mark. We don't get to enjoy that until we do. So help us out. Let's keep going along here, guys. We'll go down to Tesla next. We mentioned Tesla on Friday. There was a news story regarding the cameras in the cars. The Chinese government not allowing any Teslas on military grounds now because of that. It is up 4% in the pre-market here for Tesla.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna get your tit for tat here. There was an interesting first meeting between diplomats in the new administration and Chinese officials as well, which, like I was saying last week, turned from a 4-minute or 5-minute photo op into just like a bit of a spat, like back and forth, and it is what it is. But I think the big test, and we're talking about this for the last couple of weeks now, it's this 700 level on Tesla, and it's been it's been all kinds of rejection through this price, and it's giving you that chance to break through. And this is why breakout trades on Tesla can be tricky. We ran into that one on the 15th, guys, and then that was sort of a Monday morning, right? You run into it here, break out, you get about like $10, $15. You think that's going to be the day. It then tries to recover that in the afternoon, and then the next day just absolutely falls off a cliff. We get another test that stalls, basically right at that same 700 level. At some point, it maybe takes 2-3 cracks at it. You're going to get that breakthrough. It makes it almost impossible to structure a short off of that level unless you're really allowing it to trade into the middle of that range and then waiting around for like 8s and 9s and 10s, something along those lines. But there is some potential for a bit of a break from the 85 area, at least into that 700. So Tesla's on my radar for that. And certainly, if there's any chance to defend like Friday's opening highs, like that 660, 666, oddly enough. If it gets down to that price level on a dip, I'm going to like that. But I'm watching a 685 for a break on Tesla. The only thing there is I'm expecting some resistance for sure in and around that 700. And even if it breaks 700, kind of thinking that it could stall out in that first $5 to $10. But Tesla's back on the radar as long as it keeps testing that level. Every day that the NASDAQ and that side of the trade is going to be the leader, have to at least watch to see if Tesla's going to give us some of those moves. If you try to trade it every day, especially to the long side, you can run into some trouble lately, though.
I mean, people talking about Kathy Wood here. What up to Kathy Wood? We'll see if we get her on the show soon. But tweet at her. Tell her to come on the show, guys, if you can. And maybe Valeria can send out a tweet to her as well. Okay, NIO, N-I-O here. I just want to bring that up to you guys. It's low on the board. Like sometimes we'll see millions of shares on here. As you guys know, NIO's already done 1.1 million shares, and it's low on the board. I like to trade NIO better than Tesla, just again, because of the amount of shares that you can get into. For us, it's not that big of a deal. But as Tesla goes, NIO tends to go most of the time as well, especially if the space is getting going. And that's why I bring up that Kathy Wood. If she's going to be the catalyst behind some of this, then maybe NIO doesn't go. But I mean, I just love the movement that's been happening on NIO. It's been to the upside for a little while here. You could see this is the 20 period. I'm going to call this up again. I keep saying 20 period, but that's what you call averages. This is a 20-minute chart. Okay, so this is that 45.50 that I tweeted about right here. I just think you can get through. This is the 16th. So this is on my list here, and I actually put it with a star on the sticky note right here, guys. The NIO right in the middle. I don't know if you can, trying to get the zoom. There it is, at the bottom actually with the star. I like this 45.50 break if we can get there. Look, it's still $1 away and the market needs to go, but I don't think that doesn't have to be a problem. The 46 break is even better, but you can also, forget about like always taking breakouts. That doesn't necessarily work all of the time, obviously. If you can fall back into anywhere where we were on Friday, this kind of levels here, 43, 43.25. These areas of concern right here on NIO. I definitely like that. And here it is back down 43, 43.25. We bounced back and around here. And then today, of course, that's Friday. And then today we open up higher and now we're in this zone again. So let's just wait to see. I love a 43.25 if we can get that anywhere down here on NIO. We could drop off early right now, so I think it's worth it. We'll put some bids down here. I don't think we'll get them, but we'll put some in the 43.50 areas and things like that, just in case we get that dollar dip down, and then we know that we can protect it even like down here, 42.50, things like that. Look, if you're not willing to take $1.50 hit on NIO, then see ya, because honestly, that's not, NIO, the way it's trading, hopefully the NASDAQ settles down, but if the NASDAQ keeps moving, man, you gotta sort of put on your big boy pants and get ready to trade NIO and get ready to hold something against you, because this could be a nasty ride, and if it does, I'm out at 42.50.
All right, guys, let's go down to DraftKings next. I saw a lot of people talking about Kathy Wood's comments there on Tesla. I feel like she could have said 10,000. It doesn't matter. It would have been the same result. Let's go to DraftKings here. Loop Capital, the most recent to talk positively on DraftKings, adding it to their top picks list, guys. So more positive chatter from analysts today on DraftKings.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like
it gives you everything.
This was my top pick list at $35, guys, all the way down here. And I hope that you guys joined the club down here when we were in this area of concern for me was 34, 35. And we loaded the boat up, and now it's a huge part of my portfolio. And thank God, keep upgrading it now. Keep making it a top pick. And let's just keep riding the wave to the high side. It's on my list today as a name that we have to take. And we hammered it on Friday. You saw we had a $1.50 winner, $1.70 winner, something like that on Friday, and it was a big move to the upside. And then right now you're getting that breaking spot of $74. I mean, I wrote down again on the sticky note, I'll put it in the chat again. I think it's one of the most liked tweets probably from TraderTV.Live and from myself here. So $74, a great little break spot there. We talked about $73.50. I mean, that's just if you want to get real spicy. What time is it? Actually, only 10 minutes left, so you could probably take that as well, and then watch out for a 72 bottom. But $73.50 could be taken right off the open as well. Remember, it's going to open up. So, if you take this $73.50 and you're actually trying to make money, you probably need to hold it down to 72, right? Like if you're going to take it with whatever shares you are, just get ready for the risk down to 72, sort of Friday's close. Let's see if it does retrace all the way back and give back this 2%. But $73.50, take the long breaking through 74, and hopefully we'll get paid off later.
Yeah, that high 74, it's like 74.10 or so, and just keep in mind when these things happen. If you have that breakout, if this high had happened at pre-market at that 74.10, I just throw it out there and just maybe had the even dollar. But that was on a big time push, like very similar to the one you had on Friday. You had just as big of a move into the open that failed through that 74. And this is sort of the thing, like it peaked up above it and then slammed back in. It's not like there was resistance at 74.10. That was just a simple fail break, people buying the high, and then you get that hard reversal. So it's one of those fail breakout type plays, which is why 74 would stay in play as opposed to 74.10, because I have the same level written down. On a dip, I'm actually looking at 70, and again, it's only with the last few times I've traded DraftKings. If you're not willing to give it the extra, sometimes you run into trouble. So I look at that 72 and just say to myself, if there's any pullback, I got to have the support at 71.50. You get a previous peak, you get some pullbacks into that range. So I'd allow it to fall a little bit deeper before I got into any pullback buy. But I don't favor the 74.10 for the reasons given. I think 74 is perfectly fine. But you do have to watch out for that big snapback. If it snaps back immediately on you, and then you risk like 20 or 30 cents, you can always get back in. So I like to separate those two types of trades if at all possible between the breakout and the dip buy. So if it's a fail break at the open, you want to save some room if you really, really want to be in that name to the long side and then be able to buy that dip. But I think that's worked pretty well. That adjustments work pretty well trading the Neos of the world. And DraftKings, I think it's vital.
All right, recent IPO, guys. Roblox, we saw a very volatile session back on Friday after this move down on Thursday. If you remember, we had that big down day on Thursday. Big range again on Friday. We're higher again this morning for Roblox. No significant news surrounding Roblox, but it's been tradable over the past couple of sessions. I mean, you had to get out of this choppy mess initially on Friday, but that break was good to the long side for RBLX. Stifle, another one with an upgrade today.
Yeah, 72.50 here, like 72.50-ish here, 72.75. If you go back to like the 16th, I'm showing you guys here like 72.50 on the 12th. You get a bit of a dip down, breaking that 72.75 on a breakdown here that accelerates to 72.50. And then you have a top here at about 72.50 to 72.75. And then you're going to look for a break. I mean, today you're about $1 away from it, actually, I should say, because we're at 71.86 or so. But you're about $1 away from breaking through the top end of that range, and that's what's going to be on watch for me. That 50 to 75 area looks like it's a big one, and we're not retesting that magical 79 high. And we talked about the 79, coming into that, what a big level it was. A double top twice at that range. So I would suspect, there's going to be sellers when you see a level like this. There's going to be sellers that probably jump into this before it even approaches that number this time. So you're probably looking at resistance closer to the 75 range, but that still gives you a couple of dollars of runway to work with if we can actually break through that 72, 75-ish area there. So Roblox for me, if we can get above that, I think it's going to be a nice little breaker. You just got to temper your expectations. I mean, no matter what your trade is as a day trader, going into that 79, that's going to be its own beast. Because not often that you see like, a hard top like that on the second day of trade, that basically holds that line about as strong as you can get. And then you did have quite a deep retracement in there. It was, along the lines of 18% top to bottom. Do not ignore. I know some of these levels, there's not much to look at when you're talking about a recent IPO, but it's not much of a coincidence where these dips tend to come in and when the buying starts up. People just look at where the previous support was and then start to think about buying it up. And that's why this higher low came in off of the 69 area, just sort of going back into some of these levels on the first day on that, and then that secondary dip on the 15th. So if there is a bit of a flush, I'd watch out for that 69 for support, but it's 72.75. 72.50 to 72.75. That's your breakthrough zone, and then hopefully we can take that into the 75.50.
Okay, I'll make it simple for you guys. You can just trade it right here through 74. Break the 74, and you take the long. It's really just that simple, Brendan. Give it to them on the big screen.
One pretty obvious little one moving around this morning, this SPRT. It was up more than 300% at one point, but 270 as we currently sit here. 875.9 at the top end. This 750 needs to break. If it's not below 750, do not short this. Very, very small float. Very, very highly shorted as well. So if we get above 9, watch this one. This is crypto related as well. So it might, guys, move on crypto as well.
The only caveat I'd say with that is it hasn't really, obviously with the move it's had, it hasn't really been. I've taken a couple of quick shots at this when it rolled over at 8 even, and that seemed like a significant price. At that same thing is sort of happening here in consolidation. But I look at what happened when it broke out from 7. It had some trouble here. These are mostly dark pool prints. Never actually really got down there on that short. Trust me, it was leveling off at 750. And then the same thing when I tried to short 760s as well. It was holding a 750 area. So you do have a current support at 750. I think it's weak below 7 even. But I wouldn't get too married to that relationship because this was just an unbelievable runner this morning, and the volume is absolutely through the roof at like 50 million shares. So it's going to turn over a bunch. Below 7, I think it can really start to accelerate to that little downside. But this feels like one of those ones that if it buys into the open, I'd be looking very, very specifically for 9 to either hold well short of 9, like an 850, 860, or you get like a break of 9 that stalls at 25 and then slams back down, and then I'd be trying to short around an 850 area. Like I almost want it to get bought up and show some strength into the open before I considered a quick little short.
I don't know if I was sleeping or what happened, but I don't know if we talked about Snapchat at all because it's on the list there. It's second or third on our watch list, but I like a 57 break here on Snapchat with a Morgan Stanley downgrade today. And then it hasn't been trading well. It's stuck with all these NASDAQ names, of course, some value versus growth. We keep talking about that, but watch out for 57 break. I think we can, at some point anyways, retest this area, 51, 50, like whatever. Between 50 and 52, I think we can retest here on Snapchat. So if it's going to get there at some point, it has to make the move down, right? So watch out for Snapchat through 57. Ford again, guys, through 13. That should be good to go. We'll see if that happens today. AMC on the downside. I like a 13 even break. We've talked about why on that one. And then, another name that we haven't really talked about. What about Rocket? It's kind of left for dead off of some big moves. I love the name down here. This is where we're long. And you can get long now with me. I'm only in the money like 15% here off of some of these 2021 longs. So you can get it right now and enjoy it to the upside. I do like Rocket if it does break back above 24. We tried to get there on Friday and failed a couple times. So watch out for $24 on Rocket. But I have so many trades ready to go today. DraftKings, let's check back on that through the top here as we go. It's going to go anyways. It just took out 73.50 just 2 seconds ago and then went to 73.70. But again, watch out for the spread. It's going to be juicy off the open there as well. So that's what's happening right now in the world of me. And then we'll see right here, AMC, there it is to the downside, Palantir. Oh yeah, Palantir to the buy side. I actually didn't write down any levels. Oh yes, I did, 25.16. We'll wait on that. That's on the list as well, 25.16 on Palantir. And again, it's just some of these little wicks up here, 25. I mean, it's basically 25.15, but let's put that order in on Palantir as well, and we'll see if that one wants to make a run at anything significant. So 25 and change we'll take on Palantir, guys.
And last name on the list, the watch list, of course, guys, you should be following along. Seneca Biopharma there is some possible takeout chatter on this particular name. Here's the level I'm going to show you right here, guys. 235, short off this one earlier this morning. This came off from like a $3 top, and then you go to like the daily chart here, just so you guys can see. No real, I mean, there is some like muted significance down around this like 220 where we're hanging right now, but you have to go really far back for significance on the $3 level. And the reason why I like this this price area here is you do have that previous high at 220. You do have the one rollover at 235, and we just made a turn at 225. Now I have a rule about not working into this. If this happens at 9:30 or 9:31, I'm probably already short this at like a 220. But with a minute to go into the open, where sometimes you see buy volume, I try not to sell into that kind of a thing. If we do get a bigger push through 35, I'd want to see if we can hold it around 50 to 60 before jumping into that type of short. And this is a breakdown trade. At $2 for sure. Like if it breaks to SNCA, I'd go short that way as well. Very likely if it happens off of the open, you could see some rubber band action. So 225 has provided you a little bit of cover. It is Monday. It is another exciting a week, of course, in the markets. I do expect. Watching NEO already starting to pull back into pre-market lows here. So it's getting very, very close to breaking 44 NIO for any of the buys there. And we got about 20 seconds to go. I'm locked and loaded on SNCA. Of course, we've been watching that Ford at 13. Tried a couple of times. It just has not been able to break today. Feels like it here, Sean, because we're only 10 cents away and about to drop the bell for Monday morning. Let's get this countdown started, guys. Miss V, I think, is in all black, which is kind of ominous. Market's up today. But let's get it going. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Ring that bell.
There it is, a quick hit and run there, Miss V. Okay, 73.50 here. We're watching DraftKings. We did talk about it possibly pulling back down, so let's give it some room to do that. We're not in anything yet, so we'll wait on DraftKings, and we're just busy watching everything here like a hawk. Here comes DraftKings back to the downside. We are watching NEO, seeing if that fades out as well. So a few trades ready to go. NEO, we're trying to bid. Things aren't open yet, guys.
Yeah, and that SPRT, just to get over here, actually making a bit of a push. I told you guys I wanted this to push right into that $9 range and maybe give you a strong move before jumping into anything to the short side. Not doing much. I mean, if it breaks 750, you could look at that. AMC just made a test of 13. Did it actually break? You know what? I don't think it broke. I'm not sure if it broke or not. I got a 99 short, so I literally took 60% of it off because I don't think it really broke that 13. So, and I got triggered at 99, and I didn't want it if it wasn't a true break there, Sean.
No, exactly. Okay, so let's just wait to see. Oh, yeah. I mean, it looks, yeah, it definitely broke. It went to 97 there. Okay, we'll wait to see on that one. We don't have any shares on AMC yet, but our order's in there now as we wait. I don't want to take. That happens to me all the time. You get those early breaks and then they don't trade out for you. So we'll wait. I'm still not into anything. Nothing really moving around. A's for me, anyways. AZN. The other way, we were waiting for a 50-50 break. That didn't come through. NEO, again, we're waiting for that to open up. And then Tesla to the high side. Yes, he's still. Oh, it is open right now. Okay, we'll watch NEO. If it does break through 45, you still have a way to go on that one.
Yeah, and this ends up being a good call. And again, this just comes from like experience. If I get the position and it's like immediately, like it goes down to 96 here, that 99 short on AMC, and then I'm immediately looking at it out of the money, get to the level 2. I'm like, no, I'll just take it off. That's not the way I wanted it. I'm just going to run away from it. If it comes back to like a 25, maybe I'd think about rolling into it. But I can tell you SNCA is making a bit of a push up here. And this is one, I talked about selling this one. Let me get over here. Onto the chart so you guys can see it. This is one that I wanted to sell into the first initial strength. You just saw it there, making a bit of a push into that 45 range. Wasn't really able to get anything at 35. Just got some in the 20s, but I want to work this one now that it's actually given you that initial push and fail off of that key level, that key area, that 235 area from earlier in the morning.
Okay, there we go. So we are long now DraftKings through 73.50. So we have 73.55. A nice little win here. Let's see if we get some off in the 90s. Maybe not. We'll take another long if it does break above 74. It tried right there. We didn't get any shares. So, but we are out. We did take a nice. Oh no, we didn't get. Oh, did we get hit there? No, we didn't. We didn't get. There we go. So now we're out, and now we're long again on DraftKings. So we go more long now. Hella long on DraftKings. Let's see if Superman's in the building or not. Let's go.
And AMC's back below that 13 for the first time. Now I'm going to hold off and take more shares till I see it hold a bit of an offer below it. But I did just get more shares in a pop here. Now watch out for SNCA. It's making a top at that 240 range. I'm going to have a stop at 40 because remember I said if it broke through this range, I wanted 55 to 60s. I can treat these as two separate trades. Don't want to lose too much on that first initial push. If it's a name that I expect, I could be in it for the duration. And I just said on AMC, of course.
Big win on AMC.
There it is.
Yeah, monster win, guys. Bang! We hit that one, and there it is. I told you guys about that trade, and that's why it is on said list, guys. A big breaker right there on AMC. I told you 13. That was my level, and bang! Right to the money pit again. 2 times daily goal already as we're rocking and rolling with AMC to the downside. Let's see how far this thing can go. I mean, no idea how far on the downside it can go. We're short AMC, and we're long DKNG. Yeah, DraftKings on the long side. Just looking at a 20 period here. Maybe we test that 1250 that Neil's talking about. And if we do, hell yeah. Can we get a hell yeah on the chat? Let's keep going. Bang! 50s now. We in the money. Great trade here.
Yeah, I mean, AMC, obviously, we're going to have that 99 short, and it's going to be fantastic. But, Sean, you mentioned DraftKings. This is definitely one, and we talked about this from the day trading standpoint. Like, it gives you that initial break, and I hate breakouts on this stock right off of the open. So if it's going to give you the dip, I got to be able to defend this one. It's got to look pretty good around that 73.10. I'm not sure you wait till 72.50 whether it's going to give you that opportunity one more time. AMC. I just took it off at 12.50 because remember that 12.30 area is around where I wanted to start picking it up. So I might start building a long position if it breaks that 50, which seems imminent now.
Bang, guys, is just like big trade alert for me on AMC, a big one down here. Just got some out at 50 right there on AMC. And your boy is back, man. We're doing the damage right now on DKNG. Come on. If this can go, then yeah, our day will, whoops, where does the chart go? Our day will be super elevated. So let's just see in here, 73.50, in again at 74. So equal kind of parts there. We do have a new trade alert, not working. Snapchat breaks down below 57. We did get some out there for flat as it didn't go, but now we'll have to give it to the downside. 57.50 is about as much love as I'm going to give you Snapchat on the high side. So 57.50 on the high side, and now let's hold for some more downside movers, guys. AMC just not really doing a whole hell of a lot here. Maybe we'll just empty the rest out, but a big trade on AMC.
Yeah, and still waiting for, look, if it goes through that 50, you can let you guys know for that dip. Ford, we talked about 13 even. Bit of a dip. I'm like, oh, bit of a dip. We're actually down 30 cents now in Ford. Watch out for this little bottom here on Friday, like a 12.50, 12.60 area. I'd look for a defense at that particular price. I'm not going to go to AstraZeneca, but I wanted to mention this name, and apologies. This was on my list to talk about a firm today. A bit of it, look, it had a run up at the close, and look at the 78.50 at the close, and you can see the breakout here already. It's a thinly traded stock, so not the best when it comes to this sort of day trade. But if it gets to 85, watch out if this stock gets anywhere close to this 85 range in the next couple of days. A firm at 85, tons of resistance at that price, definitely going to be involved. And here comes 260 on that Seneca SNCA. This is where I'm now getting into more shares. It has to hold this price area. You do have the top. On the 5 minute, on my 1 minute chart, which is going to be around that $3. So you don't want to give it all the way to $3, but this is the next area of entry for me for sure. A firm already on the run. If it gives me a chance at 78s again, I want to be a buyer of this name today.
Okay, good. So Neil's going to be buying some Affirm. We're going to wait to see what else is happening here on some of these other names. I mean, DraftKings not doing much, Snapchat not doing much. Give it to us, Brendo.
Another little one, BCRX, BioCrest, Biopharma up in the pre-market significantly more than it is now, but just failed at 14.30, which is in accordance to these kind of daily levels. BCRX, though, with positive news, guys.
Okay, here comes Snapchat finally. We just took a nice little win there. I mean, not a nice win. I mean, we're piecing it out now because I got to give it back to 57.50 on the downside and the NASDAQ taking off here. So it's too bad because if the NASDAQ, it's not too bad. I'm glad. I'm hella long many names. But if the NASDAQ does fall down, I do like a Snapchat to the downside. But we just did clear out some more there. So we'll have to wait on that one. And then honestly, man, is this happening again? Like DraftKings not moving, so let's just wait to see if it wants to get going here to the upside. Hopefully, there it goes right now. I got to do is talk about it and then we go. So let's see if we take out that 74. We do have some more upside targets to get out, like literally layering them all up here in case we get that blast. So we're fine. I mean, we're long at 74.04. We've already taken out our 50s here. So now let's see if we can hold back to the upside on this name. And look what's back from the dead man, AMC. This is why we cleared out like a maniac. Thank you. I was wondering about the coffee. Thank you so much, Valeria. And that's why you get out of your AMC, guys, as damage done to the downside. No point in letting a winner turn into a loser. So we'll see if this one wants to continue to go to the downside now as it retraces all the way back to 13. But, you know, we're out of literally 80% of our trade. So that was a good one. Now let's wait to see what it does again. I still have some bids down here. I still believe in the short.
Yeah, and we'll do the power up here, and I'm going to always take the cuts and take this one out at 240 at SNCA. It makes the move into that 60 range. I'm able to get it on 60s. It pops up to 65, catch on the way back down. Now, already taking some for a 20-cent win, make back what we had the hit on, and then see if we can't hold in through VWAP. Now, if it tests higher, do I give it to the high? No. I'll probably cover this around 55 to make sure I don't turn a winning trade into a loser. DraftKings, I did just dip into shares at 73.47 on that little dip. It's holding 73 for now, so DraftKings holding 73, AMC holding 7. I just got into that one. Oh, sorry, no. I thought I got into AMC. I actually did not. I thought I got to fill down in the 720s. I'll have to look, see if I can get back into that one. Brendo?
Marker Therapeutics, another one that was up in the pre-market on some positive data, just ripping here. Broke $3 on a huge volume spike immediately through to 320. So coming into significant levels for MRKR.
Oh, you suck, DraftKings.
MRKR. Okay. Yeah, so DraftKings comes down and we get out. So there you go. You know, no real damage done there. We're holding a small piece of DraftKings as it does come right back to the 72 area. So maybe DraftKings goes here on a nice little move back upside with this market. DraftKings, yeah, 73.06. Yeah, we could probably take that and then give it back down here to 72.50. So I think we'll get some more DraftKings trading going on right now. And Snapchat's the only other name that's doing anything. Let's check back in on Rocket here quickly. Yeah, see, I mean, just right now, not much. What about Roblox? Up to 72. Okay, we're still waiting for 74. So we need to have some actionable events starting to go down pretty soon, guys. Hopefully, this DraftKings level, 72.60 may hold. Let's get long again and just see if that does come into play.
Yeah, oops. Let me go over here to DraftKings because I was about to dip into more shares here, and then I said to myself, this always happens to me on DraftKings. I get in too early on this dip. I play the first consolidation, which really is about 73.25. I mean, it always gives you a deeper look. So if I'm going to look to actually get into full position here, it's got to be off of the low of the day at this point. Otherwise, I want something that I can actually hold on to in DraftKings for the rest of the day. So I want this thing to level off. If it breaks the low, I'll look for a re-entry point that way in that regard. Let me not show you guys. You guys don't need to see the imbalance locator right now. But I wanted to come to CCL very, very briefly here if I could. For the time being, holding a 28 level. Obviously, that entire reopened space has been rather weak. If it does get back up to a 28.50, you can watch for some consolidation there. But a 28 break, just for a pure scalp trade, is going to be there for me if it breaks that low of the day. It's 28 on the dime. I can tell you SNCA, we're going to ride that bear. Taking profit on the way down to 230, but just watching now for CCL through 28 even, low of the day, looking to break down here.
What's up, Beep?
One from the volume list, guys. That RLX down still 40%, better part of 40%, but trying to hold here at 12. I just had a couple of volume alerts there. It's trying to hold 12 as support for that RLX. This level up here, though, 1350. So big range already, guys.
All right, AMC still going to the downside, and here goes Snapchat finally. Oh, wait a minute. We have some bids here. In the 50s, okay, that's a good little bid there if we can get it. 56.50. Okay, it went down to 56.58. We were at 56.56 right there. So we just missed a beautiful out, hopefully coming on Snapchat. Hopefully we can get that out if the market continues to fall down. So we do like that one. AMC still making moves to the downside as well. As we look for another name here, let's go to Microsoft as we're going to see what that's doing. Microsoft.NQ here in the NASDAQ 3. Okay, so 232. Sorry, I thought it was moving a bit more than that. Let's go over to Facebook as Microsoft still positive, obviously, that 2%. The NASDAQ up nicely, 1%. Facebook is the name that's been breaking out like crazy lately, so it's a nice little move down here, down 0.71. Let's see about Facebook maybe breaking through 288, but it's negative, so let's do some more work to find out why. What up, B?
Stone, S-T-O-N, which is Stone More Incorporated, was halted here, just resumed, went from 4 to almost 5, so just checking, guys, 75% for STON here in New York.
Wow. Okay, we'll definitely be on that one in just a second. I wanted to go back to that RLX. that Brendan had mentioned, of course, and you're getting some leveling off here at around this $12 range. If this makes a bump, no need to wait. You see a negative chart like this, guys. No need to wait for like 1350s. So I think you're looking at like 1250 on a bit of a dip. Sorry, on a retracement short anyways. The opposite of the dip buy, I should say. SNCA, and again, when these start to come off and we're able to get the top, now short it once for a winner in the pre-market, shorted a second time just after the open for a loss. Then we got it a third time, so we're 2 for 3. It's for now going to be our best stock, but CCL on the break there. I have some bids all the way that I'm going to go down all the way to about $2 because I did mention to you guys I like $2 for its own trade on SNCA. So you will likely see me dipping out of that stock almost regardless at that $2 range. You're not going to see me hold a short into that price. CCL was another name on weakness that we wanted to be playing. There's your 28 break. I'm going to scalp some of this off here, guys, because that's usually the nature of the plan, into some of the 90s. I'm going to show you guys a level 2 so you can see. There was a small bid. It's not huge, but a couple, 20, 30,000 shares at 90 before it chews through. So I did just take a third of it quickly off for the scalp trade, and then want to see how far we can go down. Ultimately, this is a play on the weakness overall in the name, and you can even the stock father himself said, CCL's already made its run here, guys, so you do have to watch out for some weakness. I didn't like it off of the open because I didn't have any obvious levels, but the second this pre-market bottom 28, it held it once. Once I see it hold once, I kind of like it down there. It gives me some more significance to that level. I'm going to scalp it down to that 75. Worth noting on Friday, there was an afternoon, sort of a morning bottom here at 75, and the next one down 27.60 or so. So I have a third left. Nice little hitter there. We'll go whatever that weird thing is doing the moonwalk for the 28 trade on CCL. Every now and then, guys, there's these post-open trades. If you allow the opening range to happen, quickly said, watch 28 on CCL. There's the break for you there. Quick 10 to 20 cent scalp, depending on how you wanted to play it. If it does break that 60, I'm not saying it gets to these lows from earlier on in Friday, but if it ever touched like a 27.30, 27.40, 50, I'd expect there to be buyers for sure in that range on CCL.
Okay, yeah, we had 27.75 written down. We're going to go hard on that one if it does break. Look at Snapchat, guys. We talked about this one on our board as well on the sheet, 57. So we take it, and look at this. One trade in, 57, and now we're down into the 30s on Snapchat. Okay, that's a good trade for us. Unfortunately, this DraftKings has not been. We went long again here at 72.50. Just going to give it to 71 there. We'll see if it wants to break to the downside, but here we go. Looks like it wants to break through 72.50, so we'll adjust that in a minute. And then we also do have, this is not Palantir, AMC making a move back again to the downside. So let's wait to see if that one has any legs back down now. That's AMC to the downside. We're just taking some out here at VWAP. Not a great out. As we come back down in, I have a bid at 70, and we'll see if it hits, and then we'll go back downside. Watch out for the market here falling down. Snapchat, big winner. We're into DraftKings, many shares now. So if this goes, then hallelujah. If not, we's in trouble. What up, B?
One from last week, guys. We were talking about Williams-Sonoma off of earnings. It's just been straight higher since. Earnings were better than expected. This is all-time highs once again this morning for WSM.
Yeah, I waited for DraftKings here to test that low. It does. That's when I get back in. It breaks. Now you're looking at Friday's close price at 72 range. I'll defend. I sort of mentioned on the pullback here. Give it to like some of these support levels from the afternoon. That's all the way at 71.50. So I don't mind getting back into it, but I'll probably take 2 cuts at this one and then walk away from it. As DraftKings, it's going to be for now my negative stock. Of course, it could always turn around. I'll get you guys back over to that SNCA. If only because just to monitor this one, it's looking pretty good. Every now and then, one of these goes to like the gates of hell for you. It broke through VWAP without much resistance. I was able to get shares now at 226. So that 260 area, obviously a good one as we get that failed breakthrough at the open, which we're anticipating. I do have to take that initial short off because I'd rather play it as 2 trades than just hold one all the way through, right? So that's why I like to play it. It's risk management for me. I do anticipate that $2 is going to be resistance. I'm really now only holding like that last 10% of the trade anyways to hopefully get $2, and to break it to even is its own separate deal. Brendan?
Some of these Chinese fintechs starting to pop up here. Finvolution, remember FINV up about 8%. $9 up here, huge level on the daily chart. Don't see news on this, but big volume and a nice move for FINV, guys.
Okay, so we're in. Okay, here we go. Here goes DraftKings. Maybe now back upside. So we can make it all back if this thing actually wants to go. So we'll take some more off here in the 40s and 50s and then see if we can't, continue this move to the upside. We're hella long DraftKings right now. Let's see if it gives us that move that we wanted to just a little bit later than usual. Okay, CCL right now. We took that break, but, not really doing a whole hell of a lot. We'll take a little bit off here just in case, because like I said, I actually want the market to start ripping here. We'll take some CCL off here there it is for a 5-cent hit. We'll wait to the downside, but there we go. Now we're getting excited on DraftKings as it goes into the 60s here. We got a lot of shares, man, so hopefully this will work out for us. Snapchat, still that 51-cent win. We can debate getting out some of this right now as well. We'll put some on the bid and smack that out at 36, sorry. There it is, another win for us. So yeah, right now, AMC 33 cents, CCL 5 pennies in the money, DraftKings 20 cents in the money, and Snapchat 50 cents in the money. So we're going to go 3 for 3 right now. Sorry, 4 for 4 right now on the board, guys.
Yeah, I just got some shares out as 75 broke on CCL. I'm going to take some more out here in the mid 70s. It's starting to slow down a little bit, but if you can get those CCL through like those quarters and those 50 type moves, we already said 27.30, probably a bit of a support when we went to the higher time frame. So definitely worth taking some profit off and then continue for the net to go this way at least. But I want to get you guys to that to AstraZeneca just for a quick second, because every now and then it actually moves. This is actually a move for AstraZeneca because it's actually 50 cents off the bottom here. So that's not sexy for a lot of other names, but it is moving and creeping towards those highs. I would look for a potential reversal if the market stalls and we haven't gotten to that pre-market top, but actually moving a little bit is AstraZeneca. Brendo?
Another one that was moving last week off of positive earnings, this Hall of Fame Resorts and Entertainment, HOFV, 12.5% again, just took out that pre-market high there on big volume. So we're back to recent highs here for HOFV, guys.
Okay, so we'll go a new trade alert. We just got out of that DraftKings right there. We'll see what happens as the DraftKings just continues to fall down. So we get out. So that's my most negative stock today, obviously. The only stock we've lost on today is DraftKings. And there it is. We get out there on that 72 break. Like I said, man, the shares I have is too much. If this continues to drop, I just don't want to be a part of it. So we'll get back into DraftKings if we can. At some point, we will. But, for now, just the way I trade it, that's not possible for me to hold that. So we're going to get out of DraftKings there and lick our wounds a little bit. But that's okay, because now we go back over to NEO. This could be the big win for us that we're waiting for. So a nice little 43.50 take. We'll see if it gets back into the 80s, right about here. We'll see if we can take 25 or 30 cents on that, which looks like we will be able to. And then we'll just reevaluate as that's going through as well. Some good outs on CCL. Like I said, we were a little bit nervous, and then we took some 70s there. So let's see here as the market now, Rip City, guys.
Yeah, and speaking of Rip City, AMC is still down that 9%, but it came all the way back into 13, and kind of thought I was had an offer in there when I didn't, so that's a pie in my face to get a reload at that 13 area. But held the bottom above where I thought 1230 was going to be that low. Looks like for now it's holding a higher low at 1260. That could be a key one because the NASDAQ over 1% now. Then you get the ES starting to move to the upside as well. So there is some strength coming into the market. That's why I hang on to. Get back into that DraftKings, but hang on now just above that 72, 71.50 support there. A bit of a pullback on a firm. It's only done 300,000 in pre-market volume, so I'm going to start to dip lightly into this one because it's got a 15-20 cent spread. But I'll see if I can't pick some up in and around VWAP. Brendan?
Watch this SPRT, guys. Held 7 down there, back to 9 almost for SPRT. 300% again for this one, guys.
Okay, just to give you guys an update here, we did get out some of our NEO there. Look at that nice little win to the upside right there. And we got back into DraftKings and still the same old crap, not much happening. We'll get out if it breaks the day's low one more time. We tried it again, and it looks like that'll be our only negative stock, but still moving around. CCL out 10 pennies right now, but again, not overly worried about this one. I want to give this one at least back through 28. So we'll average into this one a little bit if we can, and then give it back to 28. So I like CCL on the downside. Okay, Neil, we're in the 90s here. Let's see if we can get out some here as it's continuing to rip upside right now. NIO, and then Snapchat was a great out down here in the 30s. It's coming back up a little bit on this NASDAQ move. So I think it's worth getting out a little bit more right now and then holding our last piece just to see what kind of a win this one wants to turn out to be. But that Snapchat, a great out there in the 30s, and then now we'll just hold it and see what it does here, the rest. But the NASDAQ trying to keep going. It looks like the rotation's in. We'll check out some bank stocks too soon, guys.
Yeah, and just going to come to that SPRT here, guys. Obviously, I've stayed a little bit away from it. I did have it like a decent, like quick long off support at like $7, but it's starting to finally make a move into that 9, which is what I was thinking was going to happen at 9:30. Not just yet, but it looks like it's going to push into 9:05 is actually the high of the day here, guys. So if it does fail and roll over, it has made at least a little bit of a test here, guys. So I'm still watching SPRT. It's so very, very strong that I want to pick my spot very, very carefully to the short side. DraftKings, look, 7150 has to hold from Friday's action. I think this is probably my last shot. 72 area in front of 7150. But all eyes for me right now are on SPRT, which after this test to 875, it's probably decision-making time. If it cannot make another run to the high and breaks these levels again, that 750 to 760, I'll probably go short on that breakdown into 7 even. I think we're going to miss V in a couple of seconds here, but I don't want to jump over just yet. I have to come back over to SNCA. I'm still in that short from 260. It just popped back into VWAP here. So normally this would be all over like a 235 area, but I wanted to consolidate just a little bit longer. I can actually take a 220 breakdown now in addition to a 2 even breakdown, but if it consolidates any longer, I might start working into a price around 35. So you might see my average price change drastically from 260 and adding at 235 or 220. Brendan?
Another one that was very active over the past couple of days. We've seen this entire group, the online or esports gaming group. This is Allied Esports, 15% again today. They announced a larger than expected share buyback in the pre-market this morning. So up nicely for AESE, guys.
Yeah, speaking about online gaming, we're going to check out Roblox. Neo with a nice little win, so we're barbecuing those up here. We had some sick ribs yesterday, and I forgot to put the picture. I'll put those back on Twitter in a minute. Well, after the show, I guess. You want to see some nice barbecuing there. It was a good one yesterday, that's for sure. As we like to celebrate here in Toronto when we get the nice weather finally. I said I'd check in on Roblox as well as Tesla. Roblox up to 72. Barcoding, man, doing absolutely nothing, just back and forth here. I'm still waiting for a 74 break, so I just want to bring that to your attention in case you guys were looking at that and you don't have the quotes that we do or whatever. Yeah, Tesla again tests that 700, but then goes really nowhere near it. I mean, 695 is not 700. So Tesla just still up 5%. We'll see, man. The NASDAQ screaming. I like this Microsoft break, but it's not. Wait a second. Where was my? No, Microsoft break was right here. Wait a second. Where's my daily chart? What's going on with Microsoft? I think I should have took that. I should have had this break. What happened? 232.64. I don't know. I guess that order didn't go out. Damn it. I wanted this break right there, Microsoft. That's why I brought it up last time. And then there it is, 232.66. I guess it just didn't go out, but that was a decent shot for Microsoft there. Brandon?
Fed Chair Powell commenting on a few things right now, guys. Watch Facebook. Big pop on Facebook here. He said, as far as digital currencies are concerned, he would only pursue it with congressional support. So that it seems, anyways, to be where some of this positivity is coming. But big pop there on FB, up 1.2% now.
Yeah, but it's like a $5-6 move through the top there, a big move. Look, if DraftKings can't hold 7150, I'm going to be out of that one altogether. And it just feels like that's going to be the one. And we always say this, like sometimes you can have a stock that's a bane of your existence. 15 years ago for our entire office, I don't even remember that was BAC. DraftKings is anything but a swing or a hold. It never seems to make any sense to me. CCL, on the other hand, and we talk about the names that do make sense, right? So your Neos, your CCLs, back down towards that 27.75. It never really gave me a chance to reload at 28 even. But as it retests the bottom, am I going to take some more shares out? Yes, I'm going to. So this is going to be the money stock for me today. DraftKings is going to be my loser. Thankfully, SNCA is working pretty well. And still watching for AMC here. It's going to be all out of it, obviously, but it's retesting that 1250 low. And I did mention that I was going to be eyeballs on. Let's go to the 15-minute chart quickly, you guys can see. Of course, it's not going to load up for you. Trust me when I tell you, I'll show you guys in the pre-market. 1230 was that range I was looking for the dip. I will reload this chart so you can see it for real if you missed it earlier on.
Okay, guys. Yeah, if CCL is your name today, then check out this play right there. We averaged in. Look at that average in. Boom, 27.93. And then look where we're out. So just take one of Neil's lines today, CCL. I'm your Huckleberry on that one if you're looking for a CCL trade. Bang, bang. Neil had the 28 short. Beautiful. I was like, forget that. I'm reloading that and then bang it out right there. A big win for CCL today for me. Okay, Neo, this is why we get out, man. Look at this turn. It's not even a big turn in the market. We have 30% left in Neo, but it goes right up to VWAP. And do not ignore when stuff like that happens, guys. And then there's Snapchat as well. So we talked about that going through 57. That's on our board today. So there it is, man, through 57, down to 56, a smooth dollar winner on that name as we continue to go. And then, unfortunately, we're almost out of another one. Bang to the upside. We'll hit the, where's the bang button? I don't even know where that thing is, but we'll go right now. Where is it? There it is. We'll just hit it right here because AMC just continues to pay off as it just comes right to the downside, fills us out there at 49. Now we're super light. We're still short at 98, which is basically 13. So that was a great trade, and that was on our board as well. If you followed the sticky note today, it's pretty cash. The only thing we've lost on was that DraftKings long that, you know, we held it. We tried to make some money. We did early on DraftKings, and this tends to be the case for me. And then we average in, and then small cuts, but, you know, they add up. So, one of those things with DraftKings, Neil's talked about it, and I talked about it. I never seem to trade this name well during the day, as seen by last Friday, where I took a $1.50 winner on less shares than I had to begin with. So that's just a tricky trade for me. But CCL still working out, man, to the downside into the 60s now. We just took that out again at 70. So 60, we're still going down, man. We've got this one. There it is, another fill. This is how you know I got decent position on, guys, because I'm just getting filled all the way into the downside. So yeah, that's how I'm trading. And again, making that money today. Money.
Better believe it. And this is the double bottom I was trying to show you guys, 27.30 on AMC, as it is approaching. Now we're leveling off again at 27.50, so it's trying to put in a bit of a higher low here. And the NASDAQ just cracked that 13,000. And I can tell you, it's going to be, whenever you're trading some of these recent IPOs, and you know, a firm is going to fall into that category, you can look at a setup like this, and it looks all well and good on the chart. But the liquidity, why is this still on AMC? Let's see if we can't do this for you. I'm just going to go manually here because this has been a pain in the butt. A firm on level 2 is going to show you sometimes like a big spread. This is 40 pennies here. So when I'm trying to pick shares up on a firm below VWAP at like 79.50, it's not so simple as, just you're going to get whatever you want. If I cross the spread, I probably could have gotten something in like that 79.80 to 79.90 range. I was trying to really buy it off of 79 low, so I don't want to be out of the money over $1 on the trade. But it's already starting to go a little bit here, of course, with the NASDAQ bouncing to the upside. This is the type of name that's going to get carried with it here. So I still like it today. You look at that daily chart, 85, it looks like a fantastic level on the daily. So, buying it off of that on a break later on in the week certainly could be a day trade. Otherwise, it's more of like a buy the dip on a hold, which seems like it's going to be the only thing you'll get. Back to AMC, looking to finally break that 12.50 low again. 12.30 was that dip price that I want to be able to defend after the morning shorts.
Okay, Neo to the upside again here. We take a long down at 43.20. We're going to see if it can defend 43 as the NASDAQ trying to go back up. So this could be another one right there. So we'll go long 43.21. Let's just see if it can go, especially if the NASDAQ goes. We like that. I told you I've been buying Facebook on all the dips, guys, and I mean, look, if you want day trades, I'm here. If you want longer term plays, I'm here. Look at this Facebook. I told you last week, I've been telling you from time, man. I've been buying in the 260s, 270s. Here's 294. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. In that meantime, let's go over to Brendan at the big board.
All right, guys, 10 o'clock. I mentioned we were getting some existing home sales data out at 10 this morning. Was better than expected, so watch some of the home builders might get a bit of a pop. But yeah, existing home sales data was better than expected for last month. Here we go. North American markets mostly positive. Yeah, we're holding nicely. S&P about 0.5% there, 0.46. The Dow back into positive territory, was negative initially, 0.08%. Look at the NASDAQ here, both the composite and the 100. Better part of 1% each to the upside, which is good to see. The Russell, 0.23% to the downside. Here in Toronto, the TSX lagging a little, 0.3%. Oil a little weak so far. A couple things from the watch list that we mentioned this morning. Snapchat definitely weak, was up on a upgrade in the pre-market. 58 ended up being resistance here. Some of these levels from Friday held were through. 56 at the bottom now for Snapchat. Can't get out of its own way. Watched a really good podcast on the weekend with the CEO of this company, MicroStrategies. We were talking about crypto stocks in the pre-market. This thing holding in a range 750 to 775. Bitcoin not really doing anything, but MicroStrategies, guys.
Yeah. I mean, I like MSTR, and the other name, of course, there, BTCC. Whoops, BTCC.B, Purpose Acquisition Corp. There, with a beautiful listing, and you'll just watch BTCU, watch BTCB. As you can see, that's starting to go down, and then here it is, man. We did some hot dogs last time. Let's just go a little bit of a roller coaster ride here as CCL short, and again, right off the list, man. It's right there at the very top, 27.75. We take that short, and now it's 10 cents in the money, but we did reload upside there, so that's really where the big win has come from. I mean, if I'd still hold this, whatever, 7-8 pennies with the shares is fine, but realistically, not much happening. Did I just get out of NEO there? What happened? Oh yeah, a big move. I was gonna say I'm still positive on NEO, so not sure what happened, but that's because we cashed out here. NEO just dropped like a rock there, guys. Look at Snapchat. You want hot dogs, Neil? I don't know if you want them. I don't mind them. We have sausage sometimes here for lunch, but there's a hot dog right there for you, because look at Snapchat again on the list. The golden ticket is right here. We've given you these trades. Snapchat 57, we're all over that. Snapchat 57, guys. It's down to 55 and change, man. $1.32 and still puking. AMC, welcome to $1 in the money. Let's go on that one for AMC. What up to CCL? Now making new day lows on CCL. So we're 3 for 3 on the shorts right now, guys. Let's just keep holding them and see where this takes us.
Yeah, I mean, literally losing trade is going long on DraftKings, which, I mean, it seems like it's a hard thing to do, but managed to pull it off here. SPRT, that Spirit, guys, it did make the push for the high of the day. I only have 2 shorts on. I'm looking to add this one. If it fails through this break, takes out like an 875, I'm jumping into the short, thinking it can go right to like 8 even rather quickly. If you're short in this consolidation, it's too strong for me to get into on a consolidation. A lot of times I would. I just feel like it's been too strong to do that. Brendo, what's up, buddy?
A little bit of a headline on DoorDash for anyone watching DoorDash, guys. They're setting up on-demand delivery for PCR tests. They'll come right to your door now, apparently, with COVID-19 PCR tests. Yeah, negative at this point, 0.5%, but heads up on DoorDash.
DoorDash, okay. What's AZN doing? I see someone in the chat saying AZN. Darko, what up, Darko? Let's see what's going on with AZN. Of course, a NASDAQ stock. We're waiting for 50-50 to break. Oh, here it is. Where's my long? Again, I don't know. Okay, we got to just punch long now on AZN. So there it is. We wanted 50-50. No idea why that didn't fill out. So there we go. We'll just punch long there at a 50-50 break. So this is what we wanted, guys. We talked about that in the pre-market. We talked about that on the watch list. We talked about that on the sticky note. So there it is, 50-50. What a great bottom that was. But remember what we said, guys. AstraZeneca doesn't have a huge range. So that 50-50 break is legit. Let's just wait to see if it does pay us off. Downside, probably, I think like a 15-20 cent win is worth it. But here we go. Given to you again. Off the watch list, guys. What up, Beep?
Software company, Box here. Box Incorporated popping up on some takeout chatter, apparently, online. So some rumors flying around. Just showed up on a volume scanner there, up 4% for Box, guys.
There we go. Don't want to look a gift horse in the mouth when you're trading SPRT. I just finished saying it was a strong name. Waited for the breakdown here instead of grabbing the consolidation. Was able to get 77 to the short. Took some out here in the 50s. I have bids all the way down to that 80 even we just mentioned. Once I get some out, I'm tightening things really a lot here. I'm not going to let it go past 9 even. Not even giving this to the high of the day. Muted pullbacks and something as strong as how I've played it so far this morning. So get in, get out, run away. Do not necessarily sit there having to have a massive winner. Of course, risking a bigger pushback to that upside. SNCA, this is not a bid to cover the last of my, this is a bid to cover the last of my shares, but I am taking a stop through 2 even on this one. So I will be flat on SNCA at that 260 short in front of 2 even, try to take like 55 pennies off, and then go into a short position if 2 even does go. But I can tell you AMC, didn't even hold 12.30. There was no consolidation. Now 12 looks like the next level to the downside. Once it starts going sideways, I'm going to look to try to pick that one up for a bit of a long trade. But it's all the shorts that are working out here. If you got a long that's working, I mean, obviously it's in the bigger tech space, your Facebooks, of course, whether it's your Apples and your Microsofts. And of course, I have to mention Tesla. We cover as many names as we can off the open. Every now and then you're going to say, at one level, I said 685. It would probably fail at that 700 because it always does, and there you go. There was a $10 move. I was too busy looking at some of those small caps for the play, but hey, if you add 85, nice winner for you guys.
Yeah, Neil wants to talk about some longs. Bang! There it is right there, guys. We've given this one to you. Chicken dinner winner, man. There it is through 56, through 50-50. I told you this would be a quick scalp trade. We're already out of 30% of this one for a dime spot right there. We talked about using more shares on this one. And again, like I said, I'm here for you for that, guys. Like, you want to know the positions that we're taking, and we're taking seriously. There it is, man. Right here. I gave you all my trades today. I gave you AMC. I mean, I gave you all my trades pre-market. Guys, I told you this would be a hard play here, 13. So congratulations if you're on that one. AstraZeneca, we talked about scalping this one. It's still got to go. I mean, I'm only at 30%. So cash it in if you want, but I'm going to see about some more. We talked about CCL today as well, and we just cashed out of there. Like, we're flat on CCL, guys. And then the biggest one, man, we talked about Snapchat today. Like, so far today, I'm negative on DraftKings, I'm flat on NEO, and then everything else, AMC, AstraZeneca, CCL, and Snapchat, all big wins. And then, honestly, like, I talked about Microsoft, and I don't know where this order, fudge. I don't know where this order went, man. This 232.65, I clearly remember putting this in because I was debating these wicks. But anyways, whatever, didn't happen. And then obviously you guys know all about Facebook. As I've been loving Facebook for a long time, gets that spike up on some talk there. I think it was from Powell, what you were talking about there, Brendan. Facebook, a nice, beautiful move upside. And there it is again, man. Like, if you want someone with credibility, you want people that talk about their trades, give you their ins and give you their outs, tell you exactly how they're playing the trades. Not only that, but telling you which ones we like better than other ones. Here it is, man. AstraZeneca, we gave this one to you. The bulls are kicking. Congratulations if you followed the trades today, guys. This is what the show's all about.
Yeah, certainly. And of course, there's going to be real-time action as well. And I tried to give you guys as quickly as I could the plan of action in of course, the spirit. It is leveling off. And so I'll always take profit out and say, hey, look, I'm running to the hills for the majority of this position because I think it's more of like a paper cut in terms of taking into that long. I just finally saw consolidation AMC around 12 even, so I have jumped into that one. Average price is 8. I'm literally only giving it to 12. If it breaks 12, I'll find a better way to get into the long. Don't want to throw away the money you've made on the short trade. Now, if Spirit breaks back up, I'm out at like an 880. I'm not even willing to lose on the rest of this, like an 878 entry, so I'll lose like pennies on the rest of this trade. It's either coming down and giving me that test at 8. I'll hold on to a little bit here, like 10%, just in case it absolutely flushes into 7 even, but no need to fight strong tape in Spirit too far. You can short these names. It's not like it's impossible there, but AMC, I mean, just unbelievable. Like, if it just breaks 12, I don't know what happened to my stop order there, Sean. But I'll tell you right now, I'm out at 85 because my 12 stop did not hit.
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy stuff here today. And you want to talk about crazy stuff, man. We're still short AMC. So we don't have to worry about these stuff. I just wish I would have put a stop order to go short there through 12. We're still in this 13, guys. This is the cash money trade that you guys want. So we'll kick the bulls in the face. Not the bull, this is not a bullish stock right now. We'll kick it in the face as it's going to the downside right now and still going, man. The snap short at 57, we'll pump our tires a little bit on that one, and we'll put that up on Twitter as well, as that's a bang. Nice move there on the downside. We'll find some cute little reference on a GIF there, but who cares, man? We got to trade, not put these things out. 33 cents. 13 cents down right now on CCL as that's still going. And guess what, guys? AstraZeneca out. So we only have 30% left. It's a 15-cent scalp to the high side there. That's my best trade. So half out. A third out there at 60, another third out there at 65, and we're still going. So we'll see if we can't just keep going to the upside right now, as we've given them all to you today, guys. This has been a monster day. $1.18 in the money on AMC, 13 cents in the money on CCL, and $2 now in the money on Snapchat, and still undefeated champion of the world, Snapchat, going downside right now at 54.6. What up, Dana White? Maybe I'll take that job over as well. as announcer, but I love that guy. I forget his name now. There's a whole bunch of them now that do that, and it's from my wrestling days. Shout out to all the old school wrestling fans out there. I haven't watched wrestling in a while, but I know Edge just won the Royal Rumble.
What?
And, like, I have an Edge T-shirt from the last time I went to an event. So what up to Christian and Edge? They're the big Canadian connection. I don't know.
In a weird segue, because I guess it's not going from WWE to Penn, because we're looking at DraftKings and we haven't really looked at Penn National Gaming. Remember that one at $1.11, $1.12, that little breakout on Friday? Yeah, I'm sure you do, Daryl. We're right back here, so that happened rather quickly. Look, this was sort of the base of operations that we were talking about on the Friday. It was that 111.60 price. If we can defend that one again, I'd like to see it sort of level off and bounce. This is not the same situation as buying into 112 on Friday, 112, 113 on Friday as you are today. This is absolutely cratering into that. So you want to see some consolidation before you dip into it. Spirit gets down to 8 even, so just took off 50-cent winner, now holding about 80 cents in the money. If it breaks 8, this could be down at 7 rather quickly. Brendo?
One of those late reports, apparently. Kansas City Southern, Reuters just had a volatility halt on that, but it's not. It's still trading. Still up 13%, but 275, remember, up here for the price for KSU, guys.
If a deal that big ever had a volatility halt, the only reason could be, well, I mean, there's two. Either there's like a ridiculously higher bid, won't happen, not in this space, not with a deal that big, or two, the deal fell apart altogether. So that's why I was like, what? Volatility halt? You crazy? So here comes that 8 even on Spirit. Now, I'm not taking the breakdown here. VWAP's right here. Maybe like a 785 would be a good place to add, not 8 even. But if it does fall through and I can't get more shares, boom, here is this pullback at just before 8 o'clock into 7 even. Then I had a short into that 7 even again, reverse into a long trade for a quick little scalp. And it did break before just ramping to the upside through 7. So that's why I think that's an obvious place to take some profit on this particular name. And look, it's still bullish. His pullback is holding VWAP. His pullback is holding most recent resistance. So as much as I'm in a short that's made money, keep in mind, this is a still trending upward stock until it proves otherwise. I would say if we can actually hold below like 750, that would change my mind in terms of being more aggressive on shorting any kind of a pop. I'm still going to get out flat if it breaks this back to the upside past 850.
Okay, guys. Oh, you're welcome there, Lisa, for sure. Right there on some nice little kind words there. Made 2.6% on Tesla. Thank you so much, Lisa, responding to the tweet there. So, guys, I mean, it's just been a monster day. I know Brendan had a monster trade there on that AMC 13 break as well. So, yeah, that was cash money right there. That AMC break was just incredible. We still have very, very small piece, basically out of it. I can't believe it's all the way to the downside here. We will get out a little bit. I mean, I don't know. That's a big move down, guys. This may be done now on that move to the downside as it's just taking 12 again. So let's just call up some AMC charts and just do a little bit of work to see. That's 1220 there. Yeah, 1204 I think is going to be a good out. Just these couple wicks. I'm not going to hold it too much down. It's already down 14%. We've talked about the rhetoric here and what's been going on with AMC. So see ya on that one. AstraZeneca. Okay, you got me. I didn't hold. Now we have 20%. I got out of another 10% rate here at 60 again, as just fearing that it could have dropped down. But whatever. Now we'll hold it for a very long time. This trade will not go against us. It has to fall pretty dramatically for this to be a loser, as we're out now 80%. And this one, look, I'm just going to say this because this is not saying anything. I don't know if there's any graphics here, but when you have a trade idea and you have it in mind, this is what can happen. Things work out. I had longs and shorts on this list, guys. And so we'll have to just, keep trading, keep playing, and keep this going, man. I mean, I'm really, really super happy with the way trading's been. It's a weed kind of a week, guys. So wake up on that as well. I believe there's a bunch of earnings. We have TrueLeaf tomorrow. TrueLeaf's my #1 stock. I've been in that one on the CSE for a very, very long time. I'm also a big Afria shareholder as well. I don't want to say big. I did get some out recently, but I've been buying this name for a very long time. I remember when they did the deal with Shoppers Drug Mart, and I was like, okay, they got and that's for you guys in Canada, you know where that is. And for the States, it's like a CVS type of thing. It's the biggest, baddest pharmacy here. Does that exist? Biggest, baddest? Oh, shout out to everybody here in lovely Toronto and a few other jurisdictions as finally, oh, I don't have my Canada thing on here, do I? There it is. Oh, Canada. We can finally start getting the AstraZeneca vaccine. If you're over the age of 60, you can walk up to any pharmacy here in Toronto and get jabbed up. So that's a good one. Thank you to AstraZeneca and to our once loved, and now I'm not sure, government with all of the support here with the vaccine. Okay, AMC does break above 1210. Let's just get out of this one and call this a day on, yet again, guys, a monster win for AMC.
Yeah, I mean, that was like literally the first thing. You look at that 13, it's such a great level. Now, I have to come to, just because they have earnings tomorrow, and you're going to get a big time move here in GameStop. So I just want to point out, there is a bit of, and we said this could happen, sort of extending a move to the downside. Part of why AMC did extend that fall is going to be an absolute flush here, like a 10% top to bottom on GameStop. Now that you're making a bit of a level off here, I tried the first time on AMC before GameStop had made a bit of a hold. Now I'll try to defend it again. If it gives another shot, I'll take it here. If I can't get like 03s and 04s, I might have to take a little bit in the high 12s on an AMC. But GameStop in this range does give you a bit of a look here that I kind of think makes some sense to me. We were talking about forward off of the open for a breakout trade, and this is the importance of defining what you're trying to look for. And I can cancel this order because I don't actually want this breakout anymore. That was the stop to break through 13. We said whenever it happens, I wanted to stop here at some point. It consolidated higher. It never gave you the secondary push. Wanted it the next day. Nope, no Moss here. 3 days in a row. It doesn't mean tomorrow, or I don't know, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you're not still looking for that opportunity for a break trade. The more times it fails, almost the better I'm going to like it when that breakout does come through for us, guys. But for now, we are looking at Ford trying to defend a 1250 level. I can go back to CCL. I really don't have many shares left of this. But it's still trying to fall down. Like this for me was, oh my gosh, 28 bottom on CCL. I saw it hold one time. I see this fail on the pop back into like trying to get to that open range. Comes right back in, and when that break happened, just all over it. I don't really have an obvious level, so I mean, when I dip out here in the 50s, just to let you guys know, I'm going to sit here right in front of that 2750. It has more to do with the quarter 50 game. If this trend is going to continue to the downside, fair enough. We'll find some other ways to pick it up. But you got to be able to take profit when you're scalping. I missed a reload opportunity for sure a couple of times here, playing over in that SPRT. And I've said this before, and actually it was interesting because I was talking to one of our viewers who had got in contact with me on Twitter, and they said, "How do you trade 6 or 7 stocks at a time?" I tried to mention to them, a lot of times you'll be sitting in the money on 3 or 4 of these with a stop order, and then there's one that you're really actively trading you just have to watch out for. And if I'm trading something like SPRT, trust me, that's going to fall into that. You cannot mess around, be distracted if you're shorting something that's up 300%, still looking bullish, done 140 million in volume, and nothing seems to get in the way of this. It can't even break VWAP, even after an obvious breakdown at a level like this at 9 even. It's still looking like it wants to hold some level. So maybe it takes out like a 785. That's the next short I'll have, and it'll be a scalp down into 7 for sure. For now, you guys are going over to Brennan at the big screen.
Hey guys, yeah, small cap time. Let's jump right into what was moving around in the pre-market here. SPCB. I'll give you my take on this one from Friday. If you remember, this thing had a huge move on Friday, got all the way up to 320. We're back around this consolidation. If you go out to a daily time frame, kind of chopping around, I really thought this was going to give you more opportunity to the downside today. Only got down to about 190 there. We'll revisit that at 40. So 240, 238, 240. Which was resistance from Friday afternoon. AMC, yeah, I actually like this 1350, which was support right at the end of the day yesterday, so I was working off of that. So I actually shorted this well above 13, all the way down to, yeah, where we are now. So, I mean, that was the obvious one from the morning, but great trade. Whether you took 1350, 13, even 12, gave you a secondary push. SPRT, I stood here at the open and said, don't short it unless it's below 750. Gave you that nice flush down to 650. It looks like 9's going to be a problem. So if we get back up here to 9 and fail lower, might give you another opportunity. But lots of volume, yeah, on that one today, guys.
All right, guys, make sure, which number is our join us for Q&A, boys and girls? 2 and 3. Okay, let's do that right now then, guys. Join us after the show live with Mark Roberts today. We'll be doing a Q&A. So if you are a member, you want to say any questions, comments, concerns to us, you can do it live with us right after the show. That's coming up immediately. So if you are part of our membership, you will get that link. I believe Valeria will be dropping. It'll be in our community area as well. So you can check that out. CCL, guys, the party continues, and so do the profits here on Carnival. Bang, bang. You believe in it so nice, you take it twice. Up to 27.93 there. We're now down to the day's low. And you know what? When this happens, hell, let's put something on the bid and see if we get some out. So we'll put in the order on the bid there at 44. See if it crashes back down to the downside here on CCL. What a monster trade that's turned out to be for us. So good one there. The only other position we have, we got out of our AMC, as you guys can see on that 12-10 break. So that was a cash money trade as well. So we'll back that up today. We're at the highest spot we've been at all day right now, and we only have 2 positions. We did get out of our Snapchat. Fortunate or unfortunate, we're out right there, and we tweeted that out as well. So you want to know why and how we held that long, join us on our Q&A. Hopefully we'll be able to answer that. And there is CCL, man, out at 44. Like, just look at this. Ting, 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 ting. Let's see how low this one wants to go. We're light on the shares, but, still enjoying the move to the downside there. And yeah, it's been just another positive day for us today. Nice to see BarkBox finally moving, by the way. STIC, a little SPAC that I'm in that hasn't really done much. I'm in right around here. It's 4%. The other name that I'm into is BFT. Going to turn into PSFE soon. PaySafe. It should be actually very, very soon. Let me know if you guys found the dates for this. I'm going to look it up after the show. But BFT right now, 1.6%. Going to turn into PaySafe, which reminds me of the stock of 2020, where we made the call. I made the call live on this show at 108. Stuck the neck out there for PayPal back. It went down to, I think it went down to like 85 or so in the depths of March. But this was back in January. So 108 to 270. I believe the high is 310 on PayPal. So that was a good trade, man. AstraZeneca. There we go, guys. I'm not delivering the vaccines or anything today, but you could see here today on this move, man. Again, like, did we give this to you? Yes, we did. On the sticky note, 50-70 now to the upside. What a great trade this was on AstraZeneca. And I also told you this was not going to be a big one. Okay, BFT, there it is. Thank you so much, guys. I knew it was coming up like right now. The BFT merger vote is on the 25th. So there it is, guys. Wow, very, very educated, guys. You guys got that super, super fast. Thank you, D-Train Choo Choo. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, Matthew. And if there was anybody else I missed, guys, thank you so much for all of that. But that was a great little talk there. I think BFT is are you ready for this? Triple from here, guys. So get ready to rock and roll with some BFTs. Neil, I know you're long space. What price do you have space in your own account, Neil?
27.5. So,
right.
I mean, the only prices I've ever bought Virgin Galactic in are 25 and
Nice.
27.5. But 27.5 was recent. You know, the problem is, and we'll get into this because I do want to mention the whole turning investments into swings and swings into investments. That can happen to you. But I have to quickly, JFIN, guys, this halted to the upside. Another crypto tie here. But I had a quick little short trade now. It halted upside, going back into Friday's price, Friday's top at 11.11. It turned off of that. So I'm going to go to the 1 minute so you guys can see. Yeah, the halt. It opened. Tested this. The second it tested that 11 on the reopen, slammed down. I actually got short at 50s. I was able to get some out for a 40-cent win, and then it just slammed right back. It was like, I'm out for 40-cent win, and then just instantly back at the money. So I did get out of the rest of that trade for flat. If it does break through some highs here, this is a very, very thin name, guys. It's done 4 million in volume, but rather thinly traded. So do tread lightly, but I like these things post-halt. Brendan?
Just looking at the ZKIN, we talked about this one on Friday as well. It was up big time. You remember we went from 8.5 up to about 14.5 on Friday. 13. This is NFT related. If anyone is interested in non-fungible tokens, 13 ended up being resistance on Friday, guys.
All right. Shout out to NBA Top Shots. Your boy is in that right now. So my new obsession, shout out to my wife, saw me there doing research on NBA Top Shots. Come on, Space. NBA Top Shots all weekend. So I'm in the game. We'll talk about that when time is appropriate. Right now, you guys want to talk all about stocks. Shout out to anybody else in the NFT NBA Top Shots game. It's fun. It's like a stock market for trading cards. So obviously, I said to my wife, this is probably a bad thing now because it's literally open, obviously, 24 24/7. So yeah, more things for me to look at. Come on, Microsoft. Oh, come on, charts. This is the one trade that we missed. I thought I put this order in and didn't. Microsoft breaking, man, up that 1.7%. What a great trade that was. We looked at that when that was negative, and we're like, what the hell's going on today? Now you're up that 1.75%. It didn't move with the NASDAQ early. Then it started to go, man. So that was a monster trade. We got out of some of that CCL in the 40s. Now it looks like it wants to retrace back up. So if this goes back to 27.60, let's just dump everything. The only thing we're cruising with right now. Hell yeah, right now. Hide your kids, hide your wife. Actually, what happened to that little logo there that we did have, guys? Yeah, 50.75 right now. We gave you AstraZeneca. I talked about this one. I told you 25 cents would be pretty sweet on AstraZeneca, and here we are right there given to you. So Valeria's underneath there with the Superman. Let's just keep it going on here as we just keep ripping to the high side on AstraZeneca. I'm going to take one more piece out right now.
And got to come back to AMC. And I did mention, of course, the first time we dipped in that 12, it broke. My stop order didn't trigger. Able to get out manually here because, look, you have to have level 2s open. If you're trading multiple stocks, if you have a bad trigger, usually it's like a keystroke error, like I would have input the price wrong or something like that. It does come back the first time and give me a chance here in consolidation. I don't get that move to reload, but I do get this one off this consolidation. So I'm building in front of 12 even. I would like to get a few more shares here, but you can see it was like one little tiny dip down to this price that actually got me in at 04s in the first place. I should go back to Spirit. Is it even Spirit? SPRT, and apologies, guys. It's not Spirit Airlines. SPRT, consolidation lower. I say this when you're shorting. If you're not willing to make top wick, I don't know what you're doing. I only had 10% left, and I made top wick. It then finally broke VWAP, consolidated down here at that 50 range. I actually have 750s now short. I don't want to give this one too far because you do have this possible support at 7 even, which I already said I was going to short into and take profit in front of. So new position alert. This is not the same short that I had earlier. This is a new position at 750. I was short up at 880 before and unable to hold on to all of it. But I told you guys I'll be in and out rather quickly in this one, trying to take, if there's going to be a $2 move, I'd rather have like 3 shots at like 50 pennies as opposed to try to hold everything for a $2 move in this name, given how strong it's been all morning long.
Yes, my earpiece is dead, so you just have to yell out and I'll throw it over to Brendo at any time, or Miss V. Oh, this is a good chance. Okay, so right now I'm in AZN and I'm in CCL, and I don't have too much else going here. I always refer back down, and you guys should do this. Like we talked about it, Sam talked about that when he was here. I've seen a lot of you guys doing it as well. Sammy talking about keeping it real, using the hands here for these sheets. I just like it. It's just whatever you're used to there. It's not too in depth, obviously, but when you got this, you don't need to be too in depth here. We're pretty hot fire. Like we said, I think it was 7 negative days for me since October, and this is literally what I use right here. I just heard it. Let's go over to Brendan, I believe.
All right, real quick, Cation Auto, if you remember this, KXIN online used car website over in China, just popping up here, guys, on volume. So up 10% already, but volume coming into this right now. So heads up on KXIN. Used to move all the time with those EV makers over in China, but has been doing its own thing of late. It's 10:30. Let's get a check on what's happening over in Europe. Miss V is watching European markets. What's up, V?
Hey Brandon, European markets are mixed, reacting to a drop in Turkish currency and on worries about more restrictions. Automakers once again have to limit the losses, with Volkswagen trading up more than 6% after Deutsche Bank raised its price target. Back to you.
Yeah, crazy move in the Turkish lira. We'll talk about that coming up at 10:50. 14% after their reserve chair resigned. I think it's like the 5th or 6th, I want to say, reserve chair in about the same amount of months, guys. So Turkish lira a little volatile today.
Yeah, well, when your leader thinks that increasing rates leads to inflation as opposed to a means to curb it, you might get things like that. So here we go, AMC. I just mentioned a couple seconds ago, I was trying to get some more shares here at that 12 even. Now, if you're going to keep trying to defend this, it was a great short. That's fantastic. I didn't hold on through long enough. If I'm going to defend this 12, it's got to hold it. You had consolidation before. That would have been the better play. Now it's showing still all kinds of weakness in that particular range. I took a little bit out of SPRT as it was trying to break down in towards that 725, but only 20%. Still have the bulk of the position here at 750 short. And like I said, this is going to be a tighter stop for me than normal on AMC with that 12 even. A second time I'm playing that level. To come all the way back to I'll get to Penn in a second because Daryl, you're the man on that one. This is like, sometimes it's like, why not just wait for DraftKings to actually consolidate? I don't know. I'm sort of kicking myself over this one, but it's actually consolidating. Not a horribly significant level, but it is sort of worth noting there were some tops here before. And this is the problem. You get these random price areas and nothing too obvious on DraftKings. Now, if it had gone down to like 68, I guess that would have been low-hanging fruit. Unfortunately, it's not always that simple for you. I can just file away that day trading this puppy is always a pain in the butt for me. It just seemed to never have a win on it. And you gotta have a better read on the swings or the long-term play. But the day trade, not there. My only negative stock today. And I shouldn't be too surprised about something like that because I don't think I've usually fared that well on DraftKings as far as the day trade goes. And there it goes, breaking down again through 70. Maybe there's a buy at 68 even. I feel like, anything below 68, you're probably looking for a nice little short-term swing, really.
Yo, what up, Will? Thank you so much for that. You like the style. It's so cold and never stop. Yeah, look, I'm not. I mean, I've been here 19 years, guys. You've heard about some of the runs that I've been on. I just talked about that as well. So, yeah, you guys need to pay attention to your own trading style. But I'm super glad that you guys are paying attention. And thank you, Will, for everything. And all I really try to do is try to educate and give you guys these winners. So, Boxer Puppy Central. I said I'd do this. I've seen you do it. Even though you're not a member, Boxer, for $5 a month, pretty cheap, but whatever. We are doing that today. And these are kind of the questions that we'll be answering in our Q&A like we're doing today. So how do you unwind a bad trade? I mean, obviously you just gave us the names there, CCIV. Look, I mean, you have to just really think about, oops, it's .NY. You have to really think about why you're in this name, and I guess you're in it because of the merger, right? So you got to wait out for some of these trades to sort of play out. I mean, for me, on a daily chart here, I mean, you're probably stuck up here. That's why you're talking about that. Any time you come to this 50-period moving average, may be a decent time to get out some shares, just so you don't have to absorb it all the way to the downside here. Like, you don't want to say, you know what, I'm going to get out at $22 if $22 breaks, because that could happen again where it breaks, dips down to 20 and then rips back up, right? So that's why I like to use a 50-period moving average to know kind of when I'm wrong. Getting stuck in this, there's nothing to be ashamed of, because if you bought in here, you can't get out. This is the very next day you wake up and you're in a shitstorm, like $36, and then you go to the downside here and it's down to 27 the very next day, right? My only thing to tell you is these little bouncing spots here on a stock like CCIV, sometimes you got to sort of, just take your wounds a little bit, and there's going to be another trade. So if you still like the name, you still like Churchill, you still like what's happening in the space, then I would say hold it, but you're getting an opportunity today to unwind some of these because you were just down to 22. Now, like, take this although it doesn't seem like it's a lot, take this 15, 20, 30% bounce from this bottom to take some out. Like, get some out here, even today, even if you get out a third of your position. And if you really do like it, then go back long when you get some breaks. Let it hold above this 50 period and then get out as it breaks a little bit higher. All of us are stuck all the time in bad trades. There's really nothing that can be done about it. You just sort of gotta, where can I get out? What is a good little opportunity for that? You could write options against your position, but again, that's maybe for another day. So I would just say sorry about Churchill. You get stuck in these kind of plays. And the same thing could happen to me, right? With PaySafe, with BarkBox, these things could all turn out to be garbage, and then we got to look for ways and areas to get out. But I would just say seems to be an area of concern between 30 and 28. So 26 isn't horrible. If you don't like the story anymore, this is a good opportunity to get out. So that's my little 10 cents there for FREE for you guys on Churchill.
Yes, sir, and a good 10 cents it is. I mean, I don't know, is that even a good line to say? But I think it makes a lot of sense. And that's you said a thing in there, Sean, like if you believe or don't believe in the story. I think everything sort of starts there. Like, you still believe in the stock. You have to ask yourself that question first. I want to get to this ZKIN here for a quick little second. It's been on a strong little push. It's not on my radar necessarily to jump into the short unless it actually tests Friday's high. When it got to like a 1460. This was very, very strong. I'd like to see it extend into that range before looking for a rollover trade, but I'd probably look at it 1350 to 14 even off of that high, but it's not quite there yet. Looking super strong. SPRT keeps on going 15, 20 cents in the money. and then going no further. It either breaks 7 soon, or I got to worry about this thing breaking back to the upside and testing high of the day. Brendan?
Wise key, guys. We had W key popping up, I guess it was Thursday last week. That was NFT related news on this one. So volume coming back in here on Wise key at 1050 here, guys, for W key.
Yeah, ZKIN making moves, now Wise Key making moves. So you're getting some of these names from last week that were strong, starting to make some pushes back to that upside. One name that was not necessarily strong, Lordstown Motors. That's been, come on, daily chart. There we go. We finally gave that break, and of course we were talking about the actual low at that 1280. Gave that little break to the downside. Actually held through that bottom, comes right back to that support. Now you got to start thinking about that 1280 to 13 as like a higher low type of support area if it gets back down there after we've already had one bounce through. Just putting it on the radar because it is now testing to the downside after, what's that? A failed break at the open on Lordstown. So another little sign of weakness. That's why I tend to think it has a shot to test that 1280 to 13 again. It was good the first time through. Let's see if the second time does give you some luck on that higher low.
Yeah, Lordstown, crazy stock, as well as, nope, I want NEO, not CCIV. As well as NEO has been, this is the daily chart, man. It got, top heavy. You could be stuck in NEO as well, right? For any of you guys there. And thank you for the kind words on the chat about the explanation there. We'll keep them coming all day. 46.92 here as a possible breakout spot. We're still far away. I'm just talking about if you are stuck in anything, you may want to average in. I still believe in the company, but you did see with, what was that other Chinese? Oh, that RLX today. All of a sudden the Chinese government could ban vaping. Maybe that is the story. I don't even know what that story is. But there is something about that today. So you got to be very, very careful. I don't think the Chinese will ever turn on, electric cars. They may turn on Tesla. I don't know if they'll turn on their own. So we'll wait to see here if NEO has any movement to the upside. But you've seen that rhetoric be false, what I just said there, because they've turned on Alibaba for their practices as well. And I'm in this name at, I think my average price is about 228, 229. We did buy some high side when it first dropped into the 260s. We talked about that. And then we averaged in down here 222 or so. And I believe we got some again in and around here, 230 and change. So right when this was breaking out here. So 236, 237 as well. So we'll double check the average price, but I do like Alibaba for a long-term play. So if you're into some of that, then that's great. Reason why I bring up NEO is because on the minute chart right now, right here, I kind of like what we're talking about right here. 43.25. I often do trade, guys, through quarters. So let's take a 43.25 break. You could see it's kind of consolidating down here. So if the futures break upside here, 43.25 looking pretty tasty to me anyways, for this little trade. So let's see if that can come through on NIO. 43.25 will be the next position that I'll take, guys.
And here comes that AMC. And look, the short's obviously going to be fantastic. I want to defend that 12. You're going to see 12 on the bid. I did get some out, so I did scalp some out here for a 10-cent win. I got 04s to the long side, but a bit of a level trying to hold up here. And market may be coming back to the upside, but AMC again showing that weakness. I got to stop. I'm going to let this one automatically trigger for me here just to make sure that we get out of it. Not going to fight too hard against this one. If it's going to be to the long side anyways. And yes, I do hear in my ear that we got to go to Brendan at the big screen. It's time for Sector Watch.
Hey guys, let's have a look at the S&P 500, see what is leading the way as far as sectors are concerned. We are higher on the session, 0.5% to the upside, 0.46. This is Kansas City Southern. We mentioned that big merger deal in the rail space, 12.8% currently. The airlines, however, right below it here, AAL, UAL, both 4% plus to the downside. So there's Love as well, Alaskan up there, 2.8%. So some of the travel names under pressure once again. The rest of this group, the industrials group, not really doing much. We are negative overall. Same story with the consumer discretionary group. These two have been kind of offsetting each other over the past couple of days. I'm speaking of Tesla and GM. GM down 4.8% today. Tesla up about 4%, having a nice day. There's Penn National here, 4% as well, in negative territory, along with some of the cruise lines. As far as strength for the overall market, the tech group providing most of it so far today. The software names, pretty much all of them, in positive territory. Same story with the semiconductors. Healthcare stocks as well, also putting in a positive session right now. The pharmaceutical names mostly making up the strength. Overall, material stocks are lower. WRK, MLM, Mosaic, 3 to 4.5% to the downside. Communication stocks, look at Netflix there, 3% to the upside. EA right beside it, about 3%. Disney as well, 2+%, having a nice day. But if you're wondering, KSU, Kansas City Southern, being bought for $275 per share, 0.5% for the S&P. Let's go back to Sean.
Yeah, so if you're going to trade, I don't trade those buyouts. Neil does, but we'll look at KSU. I don't think because it's stock and shares, you got to watch out for double the fun there on that one, because as CP moves, you'll get KSU moving as well. So it's not an all cash deal. You do see Neil trading some of those, but it won't be, I don't think, I mean, we can get his opinion on KSU in a minute, but like I just mentioned, there's reasons why that's probably not going to be in favor right now. Okay, here we go. I want to talk about K-Van here. What's up? I see your Starbucks, so let's have a quick look here at any key levels. You guys give a super chat. There's another one there as well. I don't want to miss it. CLNE. So we'll look at that. But for me, I'm a Starbucks shareholder because the wife spends far too much money there. So, okay, I'm going to get them to pay for every coffee like they've been doing in my account forever. So thank you for creating value, Starbucks. You know what, Kayvon there? Why not take the break of Friday's high? I mean, Starbucks has been rocking and rolling, 108.32. I mean, if you want to be a little more conservative, you call it 108.50 break there on Starbucks. So there is a potential there. If you look at a 20-minute chart on SBUX, it's kind of the same thing, 108.25 there. You can, you know, I mean, if you're going to put on a real position, and what I mean by that is like, you know, not just a scalp, a day trade. I think you got to get above 109 and hold that in order before we test 112 again. So this area is a little bit of concern for me. 109, between 109 and 109.50. I'd rather put on a decent position once you break through this 109.50, because once that's happened, we're here. But as you can see on the daily chart, where's the daily chart right here? We are well above this. Well, not actually, not so well above. It's just kind of been cruising. This 50 period, I would not let this fail. So if you are long Starbucks, I would not let this 50 period fail, because you know, you could go down for a downside move. Remember, this is one of those stocks that's based in China. There's not based in China, it's a US company, but they have so many outfits there in China that I just worry a little bit about global growth if it does slow down Starbucks, although we all love it and we all drink the coffee. You know, it's in one of those spaces that could turn upside down a little bit if China gets sour. So just watch out here for a 104 break, but thank you so much for that super chat, and we'll get to CLNE soon.
Yeah, apologies, because I stepped away to a little bit of a bathroom break, so I missed the name on CLNE. We do see that. So clean energy resources or fuels, I believe. Anytime you see this, and I sort of refer to this as similar to what I look at like space or any of these names that have given those sharp pullbacks already. It's a lot better environment right now to be buying on dips and selling into strength. So when you see a setup like first red day after that hard push, now we look, a lot of stocks made this low, especially in the growth space, down around like that March 5th, March 8th. So you get that little bounce, and then you get the first red day essentially through that 16 even. You come into today's action, and then you're right back in here with a bit of a failed break. So this is the kind of place where if you're already in the swing long and you're staring like 50% return because you have the 10s, or you're in this consolidation and you're looking at more like I guess in that range you're talking about like a 10 to 15% type of return. That's a good area for a swing. That's why there's probably some people selling into that on today's action, stalling out this move. I think you can play patience as long as we're in this ebb and flow between one day it's NASDAQ and growth and the other day it's value. You're probably going to be patient with some of these names and wait for pullbacks. That's why I'd be looking back into like a 13.50 to 14 even range on a name like this. You'd be taking profits on this kind of day. And if you consolidate a couple days in a row, maybe you're breaking out through 1650 at some point and then making a run back to those 19 highs. But patience has certainly worked on any longs here in CLNE, and clearly everyone else is taking profits where you get the opportunity to. So why not go ahead and do that if that's your look? Our look is going to the big screen to Valeria right now.
Hey Neil, chat talks about TKAT stock, which is up around 20%. Do you see any opportunities for yourself in this name?
This one over on the Amex, I remember because we were trading it one day, and then if we can get the daily charts to load up here. Okay, fine, I'll just go over. Oh, 15-minute does not want to load because it's still stuck. And of course, my 1 minute doesn't want to load either. So I'm stuck on the daily chart here, guys. Unfortunately, so I'll have to come back to this to give a bit of a deeper look because the daily's not going to tell you too much of a story. What I will say is this one has been on my try not to short this name because it's entirely too crazy to the upside type of names here. Look, it's going absolutely parabolic. The only thing I will say, it is sort of true that if it tests that little double top that you can see very briefly on the daily chart, unfortunately, if it does test through 40 even again, that's not a horrible place. I would love it halting into a price like that as opposed to trying to fight it too hard. But this is just a horribly bullish a name here. I don't get involved in taking these types of longs. If you have it, to me, you're taking profit when you get 5x, when you get 10x. And buying up here usually doesn't seem like the greatest opportunity to me. I tend to stay away from that. So it's like short only. If it tests 40 even, fine. I could show you a 1 minute chart if that would load for me, but it just crashed, so I'll have to get back to it in a second. It does seem like liquidity is a little better than it was last week when I look at the level 2. So, well, that's of course CLNE. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. My link is killing me today. Here we are, TKAT, guys. It's a little bit better than it was before, so you're seeing 10, 15 cent spreads as opposed to when it would break a level, 30, 40. You're getting stops that are trigger and give you horrible prices. So I'd be very careful trading it. Unless I'm in front of 40 even, I'll stay away from TKAT. Brendan?
Yeah, this whole group, that's TKAT, non-fungible token related. So is this one, OCG. Just popping up here as well through 14. Remember, this one went nuts last week as well. So these are all that NFT craze, guys.
Yeah. I'm crazy about NFTs as well. We talked about that with Top Shot, so let's wait to see if that can do anything. Here's W Key. We'll take a break. The high of the day, 11.20. Let's see if it wants to go. We've seen it been up here before, so if it goes, it goes. We'll give that another shot. And then here we go, man. We're taking the trade on NEO. We'll see if it wants to come in there. We took 5 cents, but that's nothing. We're just waiting now for it to break upside. I'm a little nervous here because you see the NASDAQ moving upside. That's what got us into this NEO trade. So right now we're just going to be a little cautious on this one and see if it gives us some love to the upside. I'm going to get out of the majority. I'm going to get out of half if we break basically right back down below this 43.10 area. I don't want to hold this all the way back down. NEO's negative today into a strong market. I just thought that maybe we've changed up our mind and we can get to VWAP. If we do that, then we're going to be hella big, but right now we're not. So we're going to wait to see on NEO, and then the ultimate out going to be back down through 43 even. So for now, we're all good on NEO, but more to come here as there goes W Key taking out the day's high. Let's see how high this one wants to fly. What up, B?
WIMI, guys, W-I-M-I, apparently have obtained a patent for some LiDAR technology. So this is a hologram company, 4D hologram technology company. So they're getting into the LiDAR space as well. So huge volume spike just came in on that news now. 2% for WIMI, guys.
From WIMI, back over to Zedkin. Zedkin, whatever. I always say the wrong one. I know what I'm supposed to say, wifey, but I always say it the American way, unfortunately, guys. Still looking rather strong, sort of trending back into this upside. And I told you guys a little bit earlier, if it does press through this little top here on the daily, you want to get into, this is about like 1365 or so, and then it sort of stalled out at about like 14 even on that little pushback. So I'd be looking to see if it gets into that, breaks this high, which is 1343, gets into that 65 to 14 range. And of course, this is all pending no halt, it doesn't halt into this range. And then that's where I'd be jumping into a short. I feel a little more comfortable with the short in Zkin here than I do sort of at TKAT. Just more of in a better spot for me in terms of the volatility, how far it's extended into that range at this particular point. Now, got to go back to SPRT, not done with this one by a long shot, but I did mention support down at 7 even, guys. So it's what it is, guys. Even when some of these are flushing themselves down the toilet, you've got to keep in mind what the overall trend has been. It's still an upward trending stock, still up 240%. Yes, there's been some good breakdowns, but we're still holding this dip level, 7 even. I told you guys 7 even. I'm now, for a second time, down to the last 15%. The last time was 10%, and I'm willing to cover. And as a matter of fact, I should move this because I don't need that stop. I'm willing to cover around VWAP and just say I'm running to the hills for the last 10, 15%. If it breaks 65, I'm out. I'll look for a re-entry point. You saw what happened to me last time when I worked a similar short, and I'm willing to have it happen because I like the breakdown. I don't like holding on to it too long. At some point, if it holds one of these levels, you're probably testing the highs again. And with that in mind, if this does not break below, I'll call it this 670, below 7 even in the afternoon, then you know what's making a run at 950 in the afternoon. You know what's going to happen. Maybe it's power hour. More likely it's going to be just after lunchtime. That's what these stocks tend to do if the bottom does not fall out, and it hasn't happened yet on SPRT.
God said, do we short so much? No, for me, it doesn't matter which way. I haven't been shorting that much today. We did take a $2 winner. Where it is? Here it is. On Snapchat. And then we took a monster winner on AMC to the short side. That's about as easy trade as you're going to get ever, in my opinion. But the Snapchat trade was also very, very easy. Doing this short through 57 on a negative report. And then look at that out down there. So hell yeah for that short. But if we short way too much, but I don't know. Here's Neo. All I've been doing is long. Wish I did go short. Long here and out, VWAP, long here and out a little bit. Then took, like I said, a small hit. This came so fast. And now we're long again. Out for a little bit of flat there. But now we're getting out. And we'll see if we can't get some back to VWAP here as the market breaking up. So I do like this as a trade. We're at the highest spot we've been at all day today. So diamond hands on some of these positions. Let's see if we can't have it on Neo. We'll get some out at VWAP. And then we'll see if we can't retest some highs as the market just keeps on rocking. And here's another stock that we didn't short today. How about AstraZeneca? Oh, and I told you guys, I just tweeted it out. Small cap, big cap, large cap, micro cap, whatever, man. We're capping people right now. As look at this, W key, bang to the upside. Out there at 50, hell yeah. In at 20, out at 37, then out at 50, and we hold a small piece now, and we'll probably give it, I'll do some more work as we throw to Brendan, but I don't want to hold this one too far. Probably in this little area here, 1090 or so on this runner. But hey, man, so far so good, as there's been a bunch of these today. We're at the highest spot we've been at all day. The only loser today is El Drafto Kingo right now, and that's a monster winner in my account, so it's okay. But still, would it rather be winner for you guys on the show as well. Brendan at the big screen, let's talk some crypto. I'll talk about Cardano on the way back.
Hey guys, yeah, currency time. We talked about it a little bit. I want to talk about Ripple too. Ripple with a mind of its own so far. But here's the Turkish lira versus the US dollar getting just crushed today. Down here was 14%. We're about 9 right now, 8.5 to 9% to the downside. So it was the third central bank governor in as many years is how that works. So he got fired on the weekend. So they're on to a new bank governor over in Turkey. So big move down. This is the inverse, obviously, US dollar versus Turkey. So 9.4% to the upside for the USD versus the Turkish lira. But yeah, look at Ripple, 21% today when both Bitcoin and Ethereum are negative, down 2% for Bitcoin, still holding 57. Ethereum, though, down about 2%. Yeah, Ripple, 21.5% to the upside. Everything else pretty muted so far. There was a little bit of overall US dollar weakness coming through, so that has since gone away. Look at the euro now up 0.2%. British pound and these two, Japanese yen, Swiss franc, still struggling, though. Swiss franc specifically, 0.5% to the downside. Guys, back over to you.
So I said, thank you so much for that, XRP. Yeah, I mean, we talked about XRP buying that token on that SEC news. Like, I'm long, 21%. I'm long that name like 20 or 29 cents, 27 cents. We'll check back on when that was. So I did want to talk a little bit about Cardano. We talked about this push that happened basically once we got the announcement that we were going to Coinbase. Was right around here, I think it was, 116, 112 or something, and just kept ripping up. Remember where this has come from, guys. We talked about this in January. Brendan thought it was still 21 cents, or the last time we brought it up was 21 cents. And now I've been bringing it up the whole time, up to 118, 120. Topped out here, 150, guys. No surprise there. Again, the 50 cent. But if you're in these names, like, you know, like an XRP, like an ADA here with Cardano, besides BTC and Ethereum, I'm still longer in those than anything else. I think I have more ADA than I do ETH though, but BTC still king. You know, like, let's put on our trading hat a little bit here instead of just trying to like YOLO everything. Basically, if you come back to this $1 mark, I think that's a good buy. You're right here at this level as well, 120, 115, 117 on Cardano. You can retrace back to 80 cents here for sure. If we break down 80 cents on the downside, then the thesis of this turning into something, remember, you can start building contracts, and with NFT and everything going crazy, you can build, that's Neo, you can build on Cardano. So watch out for this dollar to snap. But if you can get a chance, I think this is worth it if you're not in yet, to get some ADA down near $1 and change. If that drops, and then your next buy might be around here at 80 cents, and then God forbid we retest 60, maybe that's where you finally get out. But I don't drop any real money into this thing when it has a real big run up. So just watch out for ADA, man. I mean, I'm long down here, but that's irrelevant. What's happened in the past has happened. I still look for this 150 break, and when 150 breaks, like, again, maybe it is a YOLO ideology here, but I really love, just look it up, what Cardano's doing, guys. And trust me, I don't think this 148 would be a bad purchase once we get a couple years down the line.
Definitely not a bad purchase either. And we talk about stocks that are good for day trades and whatnot, and some that, quite frankly, don't always do the best volume in the world. A firm, not exactly going to be a volume leader here, and I talked about this one as it was breaking out towards that 85. Maybe we should go back to the daily chart so you can see. Makes a bit of a bottom here at 70 even. You see the consolidation off that low. I said, look, it's on a bit of a break, headed towards that 85 today. I tried to pick some up in the day trade. Unfortunately, why is that? I'll get to Rocket Labs in a second. My charts are being a bit of a pain in the butt today when it comes to linking together. But either way, here's the push all the way to 85. So I did mention, hey, let's try to pick that one up. It was the 78.50 break that we missed. This is the chop zone where I was trying to get it at around like 79.50 to 80 even. It's now making the push into that resistance at 85. It's still going to have, I think, an 85 breakout affirmed at some point throughout this week, but that's obvious resistance on that daily chart. But you look for those stocks which have given you that consolidation that you can play off of. That's exactly all I cared about here. And this is below that IPO price. It's the other thing, below that $90 that you're still able to get. So it can actually break that 85, maybe round back into 90, and then you can press towards some of those highs. So you look for some of that value as some of the higher valuation names have been pulling back. This is one that caught my attention here today. And apologies for who mentioned the Rocket Lab SPAC here. It is on the move. It's not the biggest volume in the world, but this is finally gearing up the potential Rocket Lab SPAC. And whether you like these ones or not, I mean, of course, this is still a firm, so I'll have to get that chart for you there. But trust me when I tell you, it's been lulling to sleep. This is the first day where there's been some actual real push to the upside in a couple of weeks here. Likely to run into resistance at 13 even. But the reason why I point something like a firm, if you really like the story, and I kind of kicking myself for this, you want to be getting in when it's retesting some of these lows, like at 11.50. Otherwise, you're suddenly asking yourself, do I want to pay up to like another 10% here? That's why you'd maybe work into like 10 or 20%. I have to consider whether I want to do that myself. Whereas a firm, you don't have to wait. You get around that 80 point, then suddenly when it pops into 85 or goes to 90, you've already got a little bit of that dip. So if you like the story, as Sean said, that's what you're looking for. So VAC-Q, the Rocket Lab SPAC, already on the move. I think it's already probably a little bit too rich for my blood here. I'll have to dig into it, whether it gives you any kind of a pullback. And we show this on the chart all the time. When speculation comes through on those deals, look what always happens to them a day or two in, right? So if you miss that initial push, most of the times with these SPACs, you are going to get your shot again, so you want to make sure you don't miss it.
Oh, sorry about that. I didn't know it was my turn up. Okay, there it is. Our favorite Neo. Again, a flat trade for me. Again, we try to get this to push higher. We get some out near view up. Our best out was 36 off of a 26 long. We dumped out most of it, and then we held about half and then got out on that 10 break to the downside. I didn't want to hold it. Obviously, we talked about why that was, as it's just been working so negatively today. We thought we could get the run back up. More than happy to try that for you. So, you know, one little fall down there. It's 11 o'clock. Like, there's not a whole hell of a lot going on, guys. So be very, very patient with your trading. And let's throw it back to Brendan.
Yeah, some sleepy markets so far. Green Pro Capital Corporation, though, just popping up on some volume. You can see huge volume just coming into this. Not seeing anything in the way of headlines yet, but we'll keep an eye out, guys. Green Pro Capital.
And I'm finally, this is the first time in a while I'm actually flat on Spirit. So I'll go with, I don't know, we'll SPRT. We'll do that little fist bump action. Why not? It's been basically, I did have one very, very brief long off of that 7 even. I talked about that 7 level before. It actually broke here just after I was able to take that out, so it was a good look there. But I was short biased, that's sort of the reason. But this last little break, I took out my short in front of 7, so that's fine. We had that 750 short. I talked about if it makes like a $2 move, I'd rather have multiple looks added as opposed to just holding one short. I do try the break at 7. I get like 96s, and just immediately it goes down like a few pennies, and then just the offer can't follow it down. And then you did have this opening range low here at about like 660. I'm like, there's no point fighting this one. I'll just walk away from that little short. So get out basically flat, lose like 2 or 3 cents on the trade. Continue to have the profit that you have. And just in case it bounces off here, I do anticipate if it holds this low, you're probably at least getting a VWAP retracement. That's why you don't want to fight too hard on a name like this, guys. And Stone, well, it's not really, it's not Stone. It's STON. This is testing 350. Oh, wow. This is another weak one. And you can't have them all, but I promise you this much. A certain somebody whose first name may begin with a B, and you might know him, did bring this guy to your attention. I don't know whether you traded this one, Brendan, but this looks like a fantastic short trade to me. There's been some good ones, whether it's SNCA, but STON, dang, that is looking rather fine. I do want to come to Tesla because as the NASDAQ is rounding towards its highs, or rounding off of its highs right now, it's sort of holding on the top, Tesla's not really even testing back above that 695 or even that 700. I mean, the ES is rolling over as we speak. And this is what we sort of were getting at all week long, or last couple of weeks, with that 700 level with Tesla. The one trade was, and again, I didn't get it. The only thing I said was 685 to 700, and I missed that trade off the open, trading a couple other names. And I can't complain. CCL was fantastic, and there were some good opportunities there. AMC 13 was also good as well. But Tesla, not exactly following through. So I guess it won't be going to 3,000, or sorry, yeah, it won't be going to 3,000 today, Kathy, but overall, those price targets, I don't think they matter. From the short term, it is all about this 700 test. And the fact that it was when it was tested before, it was breaking it and then slamming back down, or at least getting to 700. Now we're sort of trying to extend this push. I need to see it touch minimum that 700 level before I'm calling this is going to be the break day today. Of course, the market's probably going to be on those highs here, but I feel like the day it does go, it's not going to matter. Tesla's probably looking at that 740 at that point. Again, if it dips, I'm waiting for like a 660 on Tesla all day long. And then SNC, I know I briefly mentioned it. It's going to happen. It does seem like it's inevitable. This is actually a stop order. I know sometimes you guys see orders to buy or sell. This is red, so obviously it's a sell order. But this is a stop. If it breaks to even, I'm firing a stop to go short on SNCI. I am flat on this one as well after getting that great 260 short earlier.
Okay, yeah, look, Tesla, we're waiting for that one to come through. I do want to take this on another break up, believe it or not. I want to try it one more time. I just know how much NEO can change the day and can give you a hell of a lot of money if it does run. So I'm very, very happy taking a small hit here, understanding that, yeah, you know, hopefully some bigger ideas coming through on NIO here soon. So we'll see if that happens. And then it doesn't, like, I got out at 43.10 just because of the share structure that I had, and I just wanted to make sure that, you know, I didn't hold this all the way to the downside and that we didn't turn this trade into a loser, so that's why. But now that I look back, man, it held 43 even, so that was an easy spot there to think about getting out. So we'll wait on 43 if we do take this 43.20, but that's another name here coming in for me. Hopefully we'll see on that. GameStop, well, it's not coming in, and it needs to break through 43.35, I said, on the high side. Okay, GameStop 194. I mean, we talked about this. I see some people talking on the chat today. Palantir boring today. You know, and another name boring today, maybe by the looks of things anyways, right here, GameStop. Like what? Maybe a break of 200 is something. Maybe a break of this view up 198. Remember, we are getting ready for earnings on GameStop, so something there could be in store. Like, you know, what's going to be their plan for blockchain? Do they have some more things to announce? Like, I just think that there's more and more coming with GameStop. So this could get squeezed again. We'll find out the short interest on this, but I definitely am interested in GameStop, especially on that earnings day. So very, very careful with that. It's 11:05. We do have coming up after the show, if I can hit this quickly, and I will. I'll find it in 1 second, guys. Coming up after the show, we do have our Q&A. So make sure you join us live right away after, like 11:35. So just stay on the chat. We'll be there. We'll talk you guys through it. The link should be there, Q&A for all members. You can ask us anything you guys want to drop into the chat. We'll try to get to everything. We never do, but you know, we'll get to those questions. We'll pick some apart and then address those for you guys live, 9:35.
You better believe it. And with the stock father himself, we may share a last name. He's not my father, but he's definitely the stock father. Someone asked about lemonade, and I was like, why not? I don't mind talking about lemonade here. You know, for me, I saved myself a little bit of coin by, I guess, getting this on the way up instead of the way down. It probably would have amounted to the same thing, because if I look at it when it broke at like 100 and then you get that 80 bottom, like if I'm adding on the way down, I probably end up with an average price of 90 instead, you know, buying at 92. It actually gives you a quarter move. And this is sort of random, but if you take that quarter, you end up getting out some of the high here. And the last time I made moves, I wasn't aggressive enough taking some for a swing. I do feel like, and I said it before, you're selling some of these higher valuation names. You're selling into that strength, so you want to make sure you're taking like 25% profit when you can to be able to buy the dips. Because I'm not necessarily thinking that some of these moves to the downside are done. Right, so like, and this is just my personal opinion, but like I don't think you're owning this thing unless you feel pretty comfortable when if it goes to like $70. And if you are, then that's fantastic. But if you're not, you might want to be patient with this particular name, Brendan.
Another one that reported this morning, it looks like actually Safety Group, in the pre-market this morning. Software Group reporting better than expected results this morning. But I just looked at this chart. Yeah, it's not terribly exciting, guys. We were up to almost 2 there in the pre-market, but has come back in. So bit of a quiet Monday so far, guys.
Okay, Brendan brought us this name, W Key here, Wise Key. Okay, so we went long on that break. We got out for 30 cents or so, one of our better spots, but we still are holding small amounts here, as we'll see. Well, not small amounts. We're still actually holding 60% of the trade. I don't know what we were talking about. That was my AstraZeneca position I just talked about. We're holding a small amount here of AstraZeneca and 60% of W Key. We'll wait to see if it takes out 1150. My out is right here, man, right back down to VWAP 1060. We talked about that. Well worth the risk on the upside there anyways, just to see. I mean, we're only up that 3%. We've seen what this name can do in the past, including this, all the way to 16, 15 or so. So we'll just see if it gets going again. We want to have something on board anyways. And this is what I mean back to AstraZeneca. Breaking back down, it just took out, oops, that's the daily chart. Let's go to the 1 minute. It just is bouncing around VWAP. We're only holding 10% of this. So all the way back down, we cashed out basically exactly as we said we would on this name. We talked about it going 25 cents would be fantastic. I said the whole range on Friday during that movement was 30 cents. So it makes a lot of sense to me to get out right now for this play. So 50-50, we'll get out. If it comes back to 60, let's take the rest out. But a great trade on AstraZeneca. And it pieced out literally exactly the way we thought it would. Okay, W Key, I saw you there get up a little bit. 1160, 1130. We're going to get out some more up at 75 if it goes there, and then we'll wait to see if it does go moonshot Wise Key International here, see if it can take out the top.
Yeah, and I was trying to show you guys this one, Take Hung Art, TKAT over on the Amex. A little bit earlier, my daily chart was the only one loading for me there, but it's starting to make a test. And this is sort of that triple top I was mentioning, up around $40. It did break 40 on the first test. The second time through, it failed 39 and change. Actually, it might have even gotten to 40. I feel like it was right at that 40 even. And someone correct me if I'm wrong on Friday, whether it actually broke that 40 range. Thank you guys so much for getting us to that 2,000 likes. If you like TKT, fair enough. These parabolic movers upside, I can't buy them. But I am looking finally to at least short this name. It got close enough. It just touched 39 even. without making a push all the way to that 40. So in anticipation that maybe it's going to have some weakness in and around that price, I do like. And again, I'd rather play a consolidation off of a level like that because I'm not holding a 38.50 short or a 38 even short all the way to 40. I'm holding it to like that 39. So of course, as I say it, I don't know. This tends to always happen. It was only 11 cents per share, and as I'm saying, I want a consolidation in and around this range. It makes a big time flush, so I'm not chasing it all the way down to 35.50 if I think my out is at 39. If it gives some rubber band action, I can get it in front of 38. I'll make that play. Here's the level 2. You're seeing 10, 15, 20 cent spread. So 39 break, yeah, you're probably getting out at like 39.20, 39.30. Maybe it could be even a little bit worse than that. So you always have to factor that into your range. So if you're willing to risk $1, it's probably more like $1.50 if you're not as picky as you should be with that entry point. That's why I only want it on a pop into that 38 level. And with TKAT, chasing can be crazy. Of course, there it is. You kidding me? The stock just went down like $6. I hate you, TKAT. This is why I hate the stock.
All right. Yeah, I mean, sometimes you got to pay for those shorts, but it sucks because if you're not ready, you got to load them and everything. It's a
and I just loaded it 2 seconds too late. Oh, my goodness.
Well, you can get on a pop back. Don't worry.
It better pop.
Okay, Wise key goes all the way up to 50. Again, it broke through 50, got to 57, and we thought, okay, here we go again, right? But it doesn't go again. It doesn't do anything. So we get out another piece. So that's 20, 40, 60. Now we're holding that 40% of Wise key, but another winner right there. So a big win, actually, for us on that one. And then finally, here we go, Neo. We took this trade. Now it's starting to go right to where we sort of thought it would. Let's get a piece off here. 44, 45. There's an out at 47 as well. Bang. So we come right back in. We're not going to get unplugged today. We'll see if we can make all that money back. Take another 45 out there if we can on this name. It's right at VWAP. We take the 35 break. We talked about that. This was silly. We should have got out. We should have held it for 43. But again, with the share size, we say no to that. Now we'll go back to the upside and see if it continues to break. The biggest trade that I thought I had on, not that I thought I had on, that I thought I had programmed in today was this Microsoft break. And to just give you guys a quick idea, as bang, there it is, man. Neo finally getting that money back was right here in Microsoft. Consolidation, and I remember putting this in because I put a 65 break, but I must have done something incorrectly there. It happens to all of us because that's, I mean, a monster move. Really happy with the way these tech names are panning out today. We haven't talked much about the banks. They're probably on the way down. Let me just check out quickly what JP Morgan's doing. Yeah, down that 2%. Told you about rotation. We bought Square and bought AMD and did sell some JPM. What's up, B?
Apple, too, having quite the day. 2.3% for Apple. This one, guys, we were mentioning these NFT stocks. TKAT, there's that OCG. We forgot about this one as well, YVR. I mean, yeah, it's positive, but nowhere near what any of these other ones are doing. So heads up on YVR there through that 345 high, possibly, guys.
And another name here. We did talk about JFIN. At least I'm pretty sure we did. It finally made like a push through that 12 even area. Like you had that top of 12 even. It makes a push through, slams back down, never actually gets to that 14. I just started here in front of 12. Now I feel like you have to give it at least to like that 15s or like the quarters. I'm sort of favoring the 15s. I don't want it too far past that. I guess that top end of the range there, but I'm not giving it to the high of the day is sort of the key point there. But I just shorted at 11.90. I'm not going to use 12 even as the out, but I'll just throw something in between the 12 and the quarters for my stop. And again, whoops, went the wrong way there for you guys. And again, it just comes down to allow the selling to start to come in. There was a previous high as well as getting it at that 12 even level. So if I can catch it, usually waiting for consolidation. You just saw me over there, yapping around and then not really even getting into position, unfortunately, when it came to TKAT. Different story here. Once the rollover came, I did have a dedicated level 2, so I was watching this one the entire time. And I like this one down to about VWAP. Like, I'll take profit out in front of 11.30 and definitely 11 even here. So 50 pennies, I think, is a solid return here as an average. But either way, it is a relatively tight stop when I'm playing against the grain. You got to be patient. I've only traded a couple times, and last time I was in the stock for literally 10 seconds in and out for a small win. Let's see if we can do a little better this time.
Okay, I don't know if we're going to get into lunch money, but just to let you guys know, my lunch money trade right now is Palantir. We just took it right this second. So, Brandon, if you want to drop any sort of thing, I'm taking it right now. Palantir lunch money, I'm in right now at 42, giving it to about a 20 or 25 break here. Let's see if it can't pay off. We'll get some out at 50, some out at 60. Brandon, what you got, bud?
There it is. I was just telling the guys, just hit it. Just hit the graphic. We'll see what happens. Yeah, Sean, I mean, you want to run through that one more time?
Sure. So Palantir right here, finally breaking to the upside on this trade. You can see right here on the 20-period moving average, we're breaking these levels, 24.40. We like that. It's hitting VWAP here. This is a 1-minute chart, but it just broke through the 3-minute. I missed that. That should have been 36. So I just punched long. I knew we were going to do lunch money, and we just gave that to you guys at 42. This trade is not specific to lunch money. I like the trade breaking back down or breaking upside. Palantir could still motor for sure. And then the other trade that we just took as well, that you could have called lunch money, but bang to the upside there. Another cowbell winner for NEO. Finally, man, turning that stock rate to positive land. And we're at the highest spot we've been at all day right now, Brendan. So that's my lunch money. Palantir, you can get it right now. You get it same price, 40, 24, 42. I don't know who to throw it to, but Neil or Brendan, whoever wants to go, go.
Ready, go. Okay. I'll talk about Apple, guys. Apple having, I just mentioned Apple having a nice day. 122.80 day highs there. Might be worth a scalp through highs if it does give you that to the upside. So watch 123 to the top, and then 124 above that is a bit of a level on the daily chart. But yeah, Apple very strong. So 120 or 122, I should say, 80, 122.80, guys.
So I'm going to go with, and it's interesting here, but I'll give you two looks because one, we got a question about CLNE, so it's the only reason I want to throw this one out there. But I'm absolutely loving a 16 break. It's the only problem with that 16. We're a little bit farther away from it here, but it looks like it's consolidating off 75, and this looks like a fantastic little scalp trade at 16 even. You know, unfortunately, because it's so far away from the price, I have to give you one that I've been basically in and out of this stock all morning long. When it comes to SNCA, now we're basing it off $2, and I've already shown you here that I am shorting through that $2 range whenever it does get there. But you also have another quick look. We have another quick look. This consolidation. This is just if you I don't have to really zoom in. I can just sort of give you the look of level 2. And of course, this continues to happen to me where I have to manually put it in because my group link does not want to work. But it's just sitting here in this 04-05 range. So I can play this a couple ways. I'm still shorting through $2. You can't get me away from that trade. But when this 05 goes, I mean, it's been making this bottom at 2 even this entire morning. It does correspond with a 204 a bottom in the pre-market. So I'll go long on a 205 break, and I can scalp that right into these recent highs of like 210, 215. I can play it in both directions because your downside is I'm out at 2 even breaks. I'm going short at that price no matter what. So I'm calling a 205 break here on SNCA. And I can still make that work with the idea that I'm covering any long at 05 or 06 at 2, and then of course going short on that 2 even break. So gonna go with SNCA. I also like that CLNE because we did have a super chat asking about that particular name. I'm not thinking it's guaranteed to give you that 16 break. It's at least a lower probability, whereas this could happen any second now on SNCA.
All right, a couple good ideas there. Hopefully you can cash in on some of those. I don't know if I'm going to be cashing on Palantir or not. I gave you guys a quick one. We'll see. We took some more shares there. So this was our number 1 position, and then I took half more. So let's just say if that was 1,000, and I took 500 more. So now our trade is 1,500. We'll wait to see if it can take out the high side here of 24.50, like we said. So I still, we'll wait on that. We'll wait. 20 cents of the money right now on NIO. We just took that one. We talked to, and again, I told you, and we talked about these stocks when they were down here. Like I said, getting out here at 43 was maybe a mistake, but I did want to share in some upside with NEO. Remember I told you guys that the potential with NEO breaking was much greater than this. So let's wait to see. Now we're already 30 I mean, this is already big time in the money now. This is 33 pennies in the money. So basically giving us that exact 1-to-1 ratio there. But we've already scalped some out as NEO going to the high side right now. So yes, sir, cash register ringing right now on NEO, 40 cents. Let's take a piece out at 40-cent winner. What up, Beep?
AIM Immunotech, guys, one from way back when the pandemic started. This thing went crazy. AIM, 2% here. It's coming back into 250, but this thing was up initially this morning. They had Ampligen treatment for cancer patients with COVID-19. So specifically for cancer patients who have COVID-19, but just saw some volume coming into AIM, guys.
AIM, and another one with, I mean, the volume never came out of this, so I can't really say volume coming into JFIN, but throughout lunchtime, and this is a good point here, so I'm gonna actually, if I can, show you guys, go all the way up. Let me see if I can do this for you guys. Come on, volume, there we go. Make it really extreme so you can see the volume spike. A lot of times at this time of the session, you are seeing volume taper off. Now, I've shorted the stock twice, tight stops here to make sure I'm not getting absolutely punked when you're fighting the tape. But just look at how well this volume is holding, and that's a big sign, right? So when you have one of these high flyers or these gap ups or day 2, day 3 type plays, if they're continuing to sustain volume around those highs, especially if it does it throughout the afternoon, it suddenly turns a little bit bullish. And that's why on a name like this, you're gonna make sure you have like a little bit of a tighter stop than normal. Notice how I didn't give it to the high of the day here. I don't want to lose anything extra, right? So it's a flat trade for me overall. I did have a very small win on it before, but I'd rather that than have your day completely blown out on something like this. And volume is an important indicator. I mean, I'm pretty sure I can say universally, like on our charts, you're not going to see much on there. Maybe a little bit different for the daily, but our intraday, like 1 minute, 3 minute, 5 minutes, they probably got VWAP on there, maybe a couple other things, but 100% always going to be looking at volume. And it's especially important when you have some of these smaller cap names to know whether or not they're continuing to hold up in terms of volume. Tesla, here we go, finally making a bit of a push into that key 700 level. It's not there yet, but you don't want to miss it when finally Tesla makes its run at the actual 700. Got to get through the current day's high now. It's 95s first. And the market's still hanging right around their highs. That has to push through as well. But Tesla, maybe this is the day it finally sustains that break. We'll have to see in the afternoon because it didn't come this morning.
All right, guys, here we go. Hot dog cannon time. Let's get that hot dog. There it is. Okay, look at NEO, man. A 50-cent win right there for you. So dropping their grenades on NEO finally. You know, we were long, and then now you could see cashing in. So a big win here for NEO, putting us right back into the green on this name. So good move to the upside. Let's see how far I can continue now. A 50-cent winner there on NEO. And like I said, man, if you guys want decent sized winners. Yeah, what up, Shakib? Oh, Shakib, I also put you there on Twitter. So thank you so much. Let me show you that. I don't know if you have a handle or not, Shakib, but here we go. I'll call you up right now and show you this. Shakib, there it is. You talked about, whoopsies, you talked about crypto, and you're long XRP off the call that I made, and you're also long ADA at 90 cents off that same call. So there it is. So thank you so much. And you know what? We get that love on the chat. I'll give it right back to you guys there on Twitter. I don't know if you're following me. I tried to search it, but again, more to do than search on Twitter right here for you guys. But yeah, okay. We just took another piece off there on NEO. So there it is. We'll see now. We're light. We're very, very light. That we have that 10% again. So we enjoy that move up. We see it just rip off. So now we'll hold it, and it's going to be a big winner there. We'll drop the mic on some NEO as we've been talking to you about that today and why I liked that break. So hopefully you had that with us there. For me, about as easy as it gets there, and I did tell you that. And then, yeah, I see you there, Chaz Desk. Look at my price on Palantir, 41s. Like, okay, so we thought the run was coming, and it didn't, I guess. So let's wait to see now. If NASDAQ can take it out, then we should break through 50. But if it doesn't and NASDAQ retraces back, man, we already have our out. Like, this was a decent shot for me here. And if it does come back out, you do have VWAP and then a breakthrough 20 there. We'll be a loser, but we're at our highest spot we are at today. So we'll do a little Gronk spike there and celebrate as you know, Palantir, that's why we haven't traded it much today, man. It's not doing a hell of a lot. I mean, the turn happened down at 24. Normally we look at those key levels. We were busy doing other things up to the upside there, and now we'll wait to see on that one. And then again, I just saw a wise key. I thought maybe it was running, but it doesn't. It stops there at 50, or sorry, that time at 40. I still think it breaks, man. My next out is 12.50, so let's wait to see if that comes in. And then AstraZeneca just chilling out, but it's been a big day, man. The only loser today, DraftKings for me, so that's a good day for me. Wow. And we do have our speak coming up soon. Okay, this is your chance, Palantir. NASDAQ breaking. Let's see what you got for us.
And speaking of stocks, I mean, certainly I want to go back to a good long position. And it's going to be interesting because I'm showing you a daily chart here on Nordstrom's. It was a winning long position on day 4 after that top that it made. And remember I was saying a little thing about buying on a weakness and looking for some places to dip in. Now, there was this previous top of 42 playing off of on Friday, which did give it a nice solid entry. But here, I think patience is still going to be a virtue. I'm going to love Nordstrom's around 38, 39 if we can get anywhere down towards that price this week. I'm going to file that one away. We show you the winners, we show you the losers, but I got to go back over to that TKAT. Now, this will be sort of the bane of my existence. But one thing you have to do is if you miss a trade, you got to get back on the horse. Don't force something. Like, I'm not saying I want this stock because there's SNCA. No, it didn't actually. Oh, yeah, it just broke that $2, guys. So I just got that one at $2, oddly enough. So that one's going south side. So either, you know, the 05, of course, I gave you the $2 one like an hour or so ago, even more than that. So either way you like it, I am short now SNCA. I'm not chasing TKAT at 34 break because I missed out on the 38 short. It's because this was a pullback level before. It's tried to test through. This is where it flushed. Now it's consolidating. If it cannot hold this, I do like a bit of a breakdown on TKAT. The only downside is, look, on a break, when a stock has 30 or 40 cents worth of spread, you do have to understand that, yeah, if I cross down to like 33.75 or 33.65, it's possible I missed a trade. And if I don't get the fill, and it slams down and would have given like $1.50 and comes right back up, this is a stock I don't want it on the way back up. I want it on the way down. I want it with momentum, not against momentum. So TKAT might be giving me a second chance. I'll have a look at that 34 break. Probably won't happen until after the show, of course, but I did just get that SNCA finally to even just broke.
Okay, cash out, yeah, good. Okay, so there we go. So that's, Oh, that was your trade of the day, down through, right? Either 205 break up or downside. Okay. NEO there, we're out there at 74.75. So that's a good out as the market looks like it wants to turn. So we are now completely flat there. That's at 75 out off of a 37 long or 36 long. I'm flat. Oh, here it is right here. I don't remember what it was. Yeah, 36 long. So a nice little 50-cent win there for us. And then, guys, I mean, honestly, like I got some out at 41 and 42 there on Palantir. Very, very light. I mean, I want this thing to go up, but now, you know, we did average in at 39 or 38 there, so whatever, man. I mean, our average price is 40 right now. Wow, we're 2 cents in the money on this beautiful lunch money trade. So put me to sleep, why don't you, Palantir? There, we will just, you know, I'll just hit the air horn for maybe it will wake up a little bit here. My next out is at 50. I canceled my 46. Let's see if we can get a 49 now out on Palantir. I mean, it could go in the, I mean, we're in the money now, 4 or 5 cents. Like I said, if you have that 1,000 shares, it's $40 from right now. So that's good enough for your lunch. But again, if you are paying execution fees, it's not going to be great. So we'll wait to see. We don't pay any execution fees here at Day Trade the World to get in and out of our trades with the gateways. Or sorry, I'm talking about pass-through fees here for the gateways. So you don't have to pay to remove liquidity here. There are certain ATSs, gateways, ECNs that do pay you actually to execute on them. So that's what I tend to use. Here we go. Okay, we're long at 40 now. I don't want to celebrate a 4 or 5 cent win, but let's see, man. Now Palantir can try. Just try the 50, man. Let's see if we can't get paid off. I don't know how the Apple's working or anything else, but right now Palantir trying to go up here. We only have 2 minutes left. Join us right after the show. If you're a member, you can talk all about anything you want. Hey, what did Valeria do on the weekend? That's not a bad question to ask. We are getting ready, though, for, I guess, what day it is and if there's any earnings, guys. So we're going to be doing that very, very soon. Come on, Palantir. I don't want to take 5 cents.
I'm going to be loving this because it's funny because you mentioned what you do on this weekend. My in-laws have like a maple syrup dynasty going on, which I had to help. So I was carrying buckets of sap around so I can get my lifetime supply of maple syrup. And oddly enough, as we're about to go to the National Day, correct me if I'm wrong, I've never had these before, but I bet you they taste fantastic with maple syrup. Let's find out. Let's go to Miss V.
Thank you, Neil. And hey guys, thank you very much for starting this trading week with us. Thank you and welcome all the new members, guys. We really appreciate your support and you're more than welcome to join our members only Q&A right after the show. You can find the link on our Twitter page, on our community pages, or on the live chat. And guys, just open the link and we'll join as soon as at 11:35 a.m. Well, happy National Bavarian Crepes Day, everyone.
I don't know what Bavarian crepe. I know what a crepe is. I don't know what Bavarian crepes are, so I'll actually have to go ahead and look it up. But I know crepes are good with maple syrup. I will say this: if you've had that store-bought nonsense, take it from a true Canadian. There is nothing better than the absolute best. And take your lunch money and maybe buy some actual maple syrup with it. We got that 2 break on SNCA. It's a $2 stock, so of course, am I going to take start scalping off at a 5-cent win? Sure. I got bids in front of 190, got bids in front of 185, but certainly the break has already worked out. I would have taken it through 205 as well and then scalped that to 215, but I tried to give you, because it was in the middle of that range, I wanted to make sure we had both actionable levels, that we had both upside and downside. I did take, I had a pre-market short in this one as well for win, and of course I did have a losing short. So it is more like 3 for 4 in this particular name. We're jumping right over to our Q&A for all members with the stockfather himself, Mark Roberts, joining the entire team. So make sure you stick around and jump over to that chat, get your questions locked and loaded for the entire team. For Ms. V, you're in black, but it's a green day today. My man Sean Katina and Brennan Wickens, I'm Neil Roberts. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Trader TV Live. We'll see you in our Q&A. Bye.